Stream.
No, fucker, let her leave.
No, that's ridiculous.
We're live. So this is Spinning Games,
Yes, sir.
episode 4.
Number four. And we were talking last week about like the top 10 games, right? Or we were planning on having like an idea of
the generation.
Of the generation.
I can't do that though. I just gotta do my top 10 games.
I mean, if you can't, I mean, honestly,
I want to.
What's the generation? Like what's the gap? Like, what's the
PS4
timeline?
and
PS3.
Xbox One. Those?
Since the PS4 and Xbox One both came out in 2013, so that's what I'm going to be from there on, like the end of 2013, not the fall or something. I mean, just to be clear for my list, I'm like there are some games obviously that came out for PS3 and PS4 and that kind of thing. Like
Right.
they're cross
So
gen.
can I have Resident Evil 5 on my list? We released it on PS4.
No, that don't. It has to come out at like I'm saying like Metal Gear Solid 5 , which spoilers is gonna be on my list at some point. It came out in 2015.
That's the really tough one, right? That Cause like got all the
All of them
the
shit stuff
scores
after the
for.
second one. Nobody said.
Not for me.
That came out in like 2015, but it was on PS3 as well. But I'm still going to count that because it came out after PS4 came out, and it was like that was the primary console,
Right,
Well,
right.
like Xbox and One and PS4 primary consoles. I actually wrote it down my top 10, and I want to I want to go see like people in chat like post your 10 when I get to 10, that kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll go over yours every time I get to. I also have a few honorable mentions. I'm going to mention those first before I actually go into.
What are some of your okay, so let's specify this generation, or which generation are we talking about? This most recent generation?
Yeah, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One and Nintendo Switch is going to be involved in that as well.
An Xbox One?
Yeah.
Which is like the first Xbox, right?
No. The Xbox One is the
Xbox
most.
is confusing.
Why does it say
Goddamn dummy.
Yeah, you
No,
idiot.
the first one was called Xbox Zero.
No, it was called Xbox.
Oh,
It was called
Xbox.
Xbox.
Somebody's a stupid
But
shit
check this out.
on this side of the room.
Check this out. The second was called 360. Where'd that come from? You know?
But, I mean, why couldn't it even be 180? Like, you know what? We're gonna go this. We're gonna
It
change
makes
around.
sense if it was called 180.
We're gonna turn it
360
around.
Just is more of the fucking
And then
same.
it's
Came
just
out
more of
with
the same
one.
shit.
And then they ran out of ideas, so they said 1X.
All right, we're gonna. Is it 1X now?
But yeah, well, 1X is like the generational kind of like.
How is Jimmy the one informing me on this shit?
Series X is the next one that's about to
Hold
come
on,
out.
man. You're not
No,
gonna
so it's not
insult-
one anymore.
You're
It's
not going to
series.
insult my best friend. I'm the only one that can question his intelligence.
I'm questioning his gaming expertise, not necessarily his intelligence.
I'm pretty sure he's been
Aptitude,
to a
right.
few people's houses where they have an Xbox One.
All I know is
They
Tetris
played
is
it.
really difficult.
What's up, Amora? Amora's in the chat. She is one of our resident gamers that are typically here with us on Spitting Games Radio. And tonight we are doing top 10 video games from this generation.
The generation including from 2013 to now 2020, and then there's the PS4, primary PS4. game.
Get the fuck out of here! Is that all camera, or is it?
That's good
I know
lighting,
it adds
Jimmy.
10. Shut up! Okay. I didn't mean to raise my voice.
That's all right. It just hurts my feelings. That's all. Just
Well,
hurts
at
my
least I
feelings.
didn't break them.
Anyway, I should have listened when
Not yet.
when they came out on the platforms, but I didn't. I actually like did a little thing. I typed them up. And Bob, since you're on your fucking phone.
I'm trying to make sure I got my games, bro.
I wanted to write my games down, but I knew that I wasn't going to have the right generation. So whenever we do the top 10, we'll do the top 10. But whenever I hear you guys talk about games, if I've played them, I'm going to be like, okay, then I'm going to situate them and see which one I think is my best. My best one.
Do you have a top 10?
I don't have nowhere near top 10 right now.
Top 10,
I mean, I
period.
probably do, but I'm unprepared. Okay, I'm
Well,
unprepared.
I'm going over my honorable mentions.
Hey, Rick,
so-
do you like sports games?
Not really, no. I mean, I've never really gotten into any. We have wrestling games back in the day.
Yeah, I know
Doesn't really count,
because
though.
Larry used to like live stream all the time.
Huh?
Was it NBA 2K? I think it was.
2K and yeah, main thing is.
But you never got into 2K or anything.
No. I mean, I prefer the like the the arcadey style sports games that are like more cartoony, that
kind of like
NBA Street and
and like NFL Blitz.
Yeah,
back
Blitz,
when
Blitz
they
back in the day
Blitz was the
fun.
shit, right? That was probably the funnest video.
The best
like,
part was
sports
I
just-
game.
used to like that backyard basketball game.
Same, yeah.
It was like a
same
basketball
thing.
game, but you could play it in like your
Back.
like this one was backyard.
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all remember that WCW backstage assault?
Yeah, I remember that.
That was such a great concept at the time, but boy, was it a boring game after a while.
Maybe that
It
was
makes you
something
realize how
like that.
important like having a ring and to work off of really is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, excuse the fuck out of THQ or whoever for trying to break the mold and give you something different.
What?
I've heard WWE Battlegrounds
Like, this game was
like,
fun initially,
uh,
but I'm so bored. Where's the ring?
There's no
I
replay
never played
value.
that shit.
I've heard Battlegrounds is pretty good. Like that's the most.
Is that kind of like the same thing?
the new WWE game? It's like cartoony, that kind of thing.
Oh
like,
yeah.
like people were like, getting tired of like because they were very simulation based and it
Yeah.
was like too like
Well, they really shit the bed on the last one.
yeah, it was fucking buggy as shit.
I'm just going to talk shit about a comment that I just received. Love you guys, but I'm tuning in to the VP debate. Peace.
Who's that?
That's tonight.
Yeah, it was on.
I don't know. I mean,
Spitty Games podcast, and then watch the replay of
You can
the
watch it
VP
on-
Yeah, well,
debates.
you watch that whatever you want.
I did that last time. We did a
Hell.
show, and then when you did probably did the same thing. We just turned it. I turned it on
When
YouTube
I
and
got
just watched
home, I
the
watched it.
watch that train wreck of the debates that went
Oh
on.
my God.
Everybody says it, so everybody agrees. Everybody agrees.
Turning away from
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh wait,
from-
back
back
to
to-
No,
games.
to be fair, the vice president's debate should be much
More
better
cordial.
and-
Yeah.
Right.
But I want to see Trump fucking make a run in and just be like, I
And
wasn't finished
cough-
from last
and
week.
cough on everybody.
I got the run.
All right, honorable mentions. My first honorable. I have quite a few honorable mentions actually, but I'm probably going to skip a couple of them. There's a lot, almost as many as there's top 10. So
The honorable mentions.
should have just done the top 20 or some shit like that, but anything about that.
That ain't
First honorable mention is Player Unknown's Battlegrounds. That was kind of a big thing. You guys heard about Player Unknown's Battlegrounds at all?
Mhm.
No. But PUBG is what people call it. PUBG, because Battle Royale was around before then.
Battle Royale's kind of like all for just you're just set up in this map and you
drop
gotta
into
kill each other.
It's Fortnite. Fortnite is a Battle Royale as well. Where
Hunger Games.
something like that, sure, similar. But the basic concept for especially for PUBG is you have 100 players all on one large map, and you drop down. You don't have any equipment going down, but you find your equipment when you're down there, like your guns and whatnot, and you have to fight to be the number one out of 100 players. And it was not really there's not too many large scale multiplayer like that before PUBG. There was H1Z1 was kind of the big one before then, but PUBG kind of took it and ran with it. And then Fortnite kind of took it and blew up like crazy. But I have PUBG because I like the comparison between PUBG was a more tactical, and the gunplay was it was first person, not first. It was third person and first person eventually. And
What's third person?
when you can see the character, you're running.
Oh,
first
and then,
person
but first person is you're in it.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha. I like racing games in third person.
Yeah,
I never liked first person racing.
Racing games in first person. I mean, I get that's how I see a car when I'm driving, but not on the video.
No.
You're a fucking social.
I used to
Right.
try my best. I used to try so hard to make that shit work, and I would just hit every
It's so
fucking
hard,
thing.
man. You can't see ahead like that, you know?
that would be fun to do. There probably is
Because I guess you don't have. I guess when you're doing a racing game or any driving games and you're in first person, you can turn the camera on and see behind you, but you can't like how you would naturally look to see your blind spots. So if you're
Yeah.
trying to drive and it's a car next to you, you don't know that shit in first person on a video game. And I think that's part of the contribution why it's so difficult.
And then you get used to it. You get used to it. Maybe if you started out doing first person.
I used to try to do the fucking 360 camera where they show you fucking whipping by and shit like that. There's
Mhm.
and it's the big 360
Maybe like a
cameras.
cinematic.
And, yeah, the big cinematic shit, and I would try my damnedest, and then you'd see a wide shot, and I'm just fucking,
Going all
I'm in
over.
a tree, and I'm like, damn it.
But yeah, PUBG was a really good game.
Real quick, when it comes to PUBG, and I guess Fortnite by extension, is it possible to win or to go far without like picking up a weapon?
Yeah,
Like,
you can hide and stuff like that. It's like PUBG was more stealth based than Fortnite is, I guess, where you can actually hide in like a bathroom for a long time and like you can hear like footsteps and that kind of thing. Prepare for someone to come in.
Right.
So you have your gun trained at the door, and then they come and light them up. And that's kind of
Just ready to go.
Like when PUBG came out, I didn't even have like a computer like that was powerful enough to really run it. I was trying to run it on my like laptop that I had at the time, and it was like chugging. So
It just
much.
it took up like too much
Yeah.
RAM space.
That's one of the main reasons I got like a more powerful PC.
Did you build your PC?
No, I don't know. I built PCs. But it's fun because it's very intense. Like it's not like it has a hard game kind of like feeling when you're playing it because like, you could be running through like a field and there's no one around. You don't hear anything. Then all of a sudden you hear like gunfire. You have to run and like or turn around as fast as you can. And like the way the sound effects in the game kind of like, especially when you have your headphones. It's better playing games like that with headphones because you can hear like
you hear all the little like the surround sound type.
Yeah, like if you have an enemy coming, you can hear where they're coming from more accurately. But yeah, but the only thing about PUBG is it is still very buggy. It's a buggy game. They've never really been able to clean that up too well. But past the bugs, it's really fun. And also like 100 players on one map. That was kind of unprecedented. Like it came out like.
And before you get to your top 10, Amora put in her top 10. So let's do like your and before you get into your top 10, let's go over hers and then kind of see where everybody is.
And the second honorable mention I'll bring up is Final Fantasy 14, which is an MMO, massively multiplayer RPG.
So that's kind of like World of Warcraft in a way, like where everybody has to kind of like, but you can't continue on without. You have working with everybody. It's not,
with
yeah.
Kind of which I just wanted to, like, for a long time I didn't get into MMOs because I was more of a single player, like, story-driven guy. And Final Fantasy 14 has a great story on its own as well, which kind of differentiates from World of Warcraft, where it's more focused on, like, the narrative and that kind of thing. Because I played some of WoW. I've never gotten, like, super into it, but I know, like, you can level up. You go to most of the zones right as soon as you start. You can level up anywhere. Like there's nothing that really kind of locks you. But with Final Fantasy 14, but the problem with that for me is that like they throw so much at you, and you kind of get overwhelmed with that kind of thing. And they don't really guide you as far as like what is the main story here, like what's the main story quest and that kind of thing. Where Final Fantasy 14 is more linear by design, where you do have to do the main story in order to unlock like certain like aspects of the game, that kind of thing.
Right.
Really kind of helps guide you and grow you as a player versus World of Warcraft, where you just have everything from available to you at the beginning, which can be overwhelming. You don't really know what to do.
Are you on Among Us?
I play Among Us.
Amora wants to know if we're doing PC too.
Yeah, some PC is going to be.
She said, I like the detective part on Among Us, but I can see myself getting tired of the game quickly.
Among Us is one that like it'll be like a come and go kind of. That's not something I was like.
It's kind of like WCW Backstage Assault, where it's like,
yeah,
it's a cool idea. I like it sometimes, but you can't play. There's not like you can't play it all the time.
The best thing about Among Us is you can play it anywhere. You can be on like on your phone and that kind of thing. It's kind of like stuck to like a console or something like that, and it's free. So like I can jump out. I can be on a bus or something like that and jump in and out of the game, no problem.
That's pretty cool.
But the next one, who do I want to go to? I'll mention like two like RPG narrative focused RPGs, and there's Trails of Cold Steel 3 and 4. I don't have those on my top 10 because in order to play Trails of Cold Steel 3 and 4, you
Trails of Cold Steel.
Yeah, it's an RPG, and which is
that sounds like one of those
kind of like the Final Fantasy kind of thing,
like Swedish metal bands like record.
Yeah, you thought that? I thought like cheap knockoff Gundam Wing fighting game.
It is
like a Street Fighter style, but Gundam Wing like suits, and they're like fighting each other.
Yeah,
that's what I got when I heard it,
But the reason I don't have them is it would be in my top 10 if it wasn't so attached to the story of the previous games which came out on previous generations.
Right.
You can play like all of Trails of Cold Steel like 1, 2, 3, and 4 on PS4. And it's also on PC. and I definitely recommend playing those games. They're
Kelsey McKay said, Among Us is fun, but I can see getting tired of it quickly unless they give updates.
They have said they're going to do more.
And Amora, and then here we go back to the console wars. Amora said, I only did PS4, and Kaz said, only system that matters, Amora.
But yeah, Trails of Cold
What's
Steel.
BOTW?
Hang on. I want to try to figure it out. Can I? I just want to try it.
Okay, go ahead.
And then you try, and then I'm going to try.
Bottom of the bitch on the wheels. No.
Bitch on the wheels.
I can't. I know. Honestly, I'm trying. Battle or Twinks are wet. I don't know.
I'm going big old titties. Where?
Wow.
Can I finish with a question mark? Ah, shit. I had
Big
creative
old-
control.
Big old titties. Wow.
Wow. Oh, there we go.
Honestly, like
All right.
weird.
I'm
I
on
like
that
weird
one.
better. It's like you walk into the room and you heard somebody talking about big old titties. Like, big old titties, where?
Where?
Like, where are big old titties?
Big old
Okay.
titties wobbling.
Okay, what is
Wobbling.
wobbling?
Did you say waddling or wobbling?
Wobbling.
They
Was they waddling?
Waddling too. That works.
They waddling. It was really big.
So what is BOTW?
Breath of the do you
Breath
know
of the
what
Wild?
it is?
Well, now I know after you
Yeah,
said.
yeah, Breath of the
What
Wild.
was Breath of the Wild?
It's Zelda.
I was
It
close.
sounds like Zelda.
I don't want to
yeah.
get too much into Breath of the Wild right now because maybe you'll see it later. But
Gotcha.
Oh, I got a little
Gotcha.
teaser there.
Gotcha.
but Trails of Cold Steel, if you like
Rails of the coast.
like story-based games and like they have great characters. The music's really good. I like video game music a lot. I even listen to it when I'm not playing video games, and the music in those games are really good. But the next one is Persona 5. I want to bring that up. Persona 5 is really good as well. It's very stylish, and it's also an RPG. Also has really good music. It was fun, and there's a lot of Persona fans out there, so give you a shout out. The other three I'll just like list off. It's Super Mario Odyssey, good game.
Is that where he went to space?
No, he goes into space. Yeah. There's also Galaxy, which is
I was thinking
Almost.
Galaxy probably. I was probably thinking Galaxy.
but Odyssey was really good. It's just not like one of the best Mario games. It's good. It's not great. Deltarune. There's only been Deltarune Chapter 1. It's kind of like a follow up to Undertale, which is a great game. I'll hear about that later as well.
Which one?
Undertale. But Deltarune is like a follow up to that. It kind of takes the formula from Undertale and kind of updates it. And there's only Chapter 1 so far. He's Toby Fox, who is the creator of Undertale and Deltarune, is still working on it, that kind of thing. He says he's not going to release any more until it's all done. And but we have no idea when it's going to happen. But the music in Deltarune is really good as well. Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice is a From Software game. From Software makes Dark Souls and Demon Souls and that kind of thing. We talked about that before. Those are like pretty hard games. I have this in my honorable mention. I really like this game. Honestly, never beat it because I didn't beat. I'm on the final boss of the game, but never beat the final boss. I just kind of gave up because it's very hard. It's super difficult.
Did you look up like can you look up like a walkthrough that'll help you, or is it so hard like?
It's one of those. It's skill,
gaming
it's
has
more,
to be.
Yeah, I have to be on point.
Yeah.
I can do it. I know I can do it. It's
like
I
you know what you got to do,
I
but
would
you
be there
just
for hours.
can't do it. Yeah. That's when
I.
I throw the micro. That's when I throw it across and I throw it into the microwave, and I turn the microwave on,
And then I put the microwave in the oven.
Yep. And then you throw the oven
And
out the goddamn window.
Yeah, Sekiro is, but Sekiro is like it's a samurai game, but there's like demons and stuff like that as well, and it's like precision based where it's kind of like got a rhythm to it, like the combat, like where you have to like time to block your enemies and that kind of thing. And like their poison meter goes up, and then when their poison meter is at its max, you can kill them. And it's got a really nice flow to combat, that kind of thing. And the story is interesting. It's kind of From Software is known for like having kind of a story and a narrative that like you kind of have to like guess at a little bit, and it tells you through like the world and that kind of thing, more than just like characters talking.
Right.
Which is really good. But yeah, I love Sekiro. But I don't love it as much as like the other, like Bloodborne and Dark Souls, because it is. I prefer that the method they use as far as like narrative and lore and storytelling in Dark Souls to Sekiro. I'll go over that more later. But yeah, that's about it.
I think that Amora said how Jimmy and I are with video games. It's been so long since I haven't played a video game. Never get time, or else the whole day is gone in gaming.
Yeah, when you play a video game, it's like
you're deep. You get
you don't realize it.
I remember because when I was a teenager, man, I would be into Zelda games. I would be deep, and when we do our top 10, it's probably going to be like 4 of the like N64, like 2 of like Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time, but then like the Super Nintendo Zelda, and then the regular Nintendo Zelda, not Zelda 2 though. That the side-scrolling one, that one was I didn't really like that one very much. But
I don't really like that one. That's like the least popular Zelda game.
It was weird. Yeah, it was weird.
Just so everybody knows, Bob's not just being rude and on his phone. He's comprising a top 10 list of all his favorite games because he wasn't.
And that was Shy, not Amora. I don't know if I said Amora said that, but I meant Shy.
I mean,
Shy
thanks for letting them know, Johnny.
Just to let them know, so that way.
Oh, while he's making his top 10.
Like I could have been just like completely not giving up about this topic, but no, I am actively trying to. I need one more game.
Okay, I'm gonna. So then, do you want me to go on with Amora's list? Hey, Kaz, do you have a list? Put your list down. Your top 10. Your top 10 list, brother.
If you can, I want to give I'll give my pick. He'll give his pick, and then we'll go and get Amora's.
Yeah.
10,
that sounds good.
9, 8, 7, 9, 10.
Yeah, so know you're on roll.
Just give me like 3 seconds, bro. Just
well, back to
fucking jerk
back to the
around
real
for
quick.
a little bit.
Back to the real quick Zelda. Kelsey McKay said Zelda 2 is awful. Looks like there's a everybody kind of agrees with that.
Some people there are some people that are like Zelda 2 is like misunderstood, underrated kind of thing.
If you're not comparing it to the other Zelda games, it's probably like a standalone alright game, but it's weird. It's just weird for a Zelda game than what you're used to. Even though like at that time there were only one before it, you know. But I guess it's kind of like Super Mario Brothers 2.
But it also changed like because like the original Zelda was top down, like you would just scroll like go everywhere, and then you just switches to like a side scroller more.
Right.
It's kind of weird. But I'll be honest,
switch back and forth.
I don't really like the original Zelda anymore either. Like,
no,
and I
could still play it.
It was so tough for me because I prefer games that give you direction and a story, whereas like Zelda just kind of puts you in there.
Go ahead,
right? Do whatever,
right?
Which is good. Breath of the Wild is kind of like that, but like I said, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah,
but it's kind of like that. But I guess because it's 3D and it's like my habits have changed as well, it's kind of better for me. But the first Zelda I really loved was Electric Bastards was on the Super Nintendo. That's such a good game.
Like I didn't have a legit version. I had like the ROM emulator.
Really?
But I eventually did have it when they released it on Game Boy Color.
Yeah,
It was a good game.
That's one of my favorite games.
Which one?
Link to the Past.
Yeah, I like Link to the Past.
Ocarina, like the only Zelda I haven't really played. Well, there's a few actually. I didn't finish Twilight Princess. I played up to like the ending, and I left it at a friend's house, and a friend fucking beat the game for like. So I couldn't. I didn't. I was like, I don't know if I'm replay this.
I used to like Spyro.
Spyro,
the dragon.
That's random as shit.
When I hear
We're
Zelda,
talking about Zelda.
Yeah, when I hear Zelda, I think of Spyro. That's his name, Spyro. Right?
Yeah, I think it was Spyro.
Yeah,
I remember seeing the commercials for it. I never played it though.
But that's what
Chase the Purple Dragon.
I was always on that.
Did you chase? Was that game about chasing the dragon?
I was always chasing the dragon.
You were the dragon. You like,
you'd
run around.
Always chasing the dragon.
I think Spyro. Like people love Crash, like Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, I used to play the show.
Are those similar?
They're like compared because they were around the same time.
To Crash.
I played Crash. I liked Crash.
My favorite part of Crash is when you're running towards the screen. And like something's chasing you, and it's just that's just fun.
Cool.
Like my favorite game is Beyond Good and Evil, and there's little parts of that. I think there's like 2 parts of that game, and it's like that. And it's just like, and unfortunately, that was before you had you could save. Because I would just, if I could, I would just save and just play those shits over, but you can't. Like it doesn't save frequently enough for you to do that.
Right.
I do believe I have my top 10 because I took so long. I'm not going to look for like honorable mentions, but I do have 10 games.
All right.
If you guys want to start,
Let's,
do I go
you
first?
go first.
Yeah, y'all two are the only ones that we don't.
Well, all right. So,
I mean, you might have some games I have on my list as well.
well, probably just one or two. So my first game, and Rick's not going to agree with this. I know Rick's not going to agree with this.
Are y'all gonna yell at each other?
Probably not. I mean,
I don't
we
think so.
we just know there's a difference of opinion. Number 10 for me is going to be fucking Lords of the Fallen. Like
What's Lords of the Fallen?
it's another Souls-like game, but it's a little bit more clunkier. Like your character is heavier. You can feel that
You
your
can't move
character's
as well.
Right, you can't move as well. It's not as crisp as the Souls games, but I think it still does a good enough job. It with the Souls games, when you beat the games that you play through, you get your new game pluses, and it's harder, and it's even more so in Lords of the Fallen.
Right.
It's like I'm on my second playthrough, and I'm on like the DLC area, and I'm stuck. I'm stuck in this fucking area, and it's just fucking tough. Like enemies will kick your fucking ass, but it's a fun game.
But it's fun though.
It's fun to me.
But that's what you. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I like Souls games. I like punishing myself, and it's one of those games where you definitely punish yourself. You're like Rick was saying with the one game, like you gotta be on point. What you're doing, like you can look at a guy. Cause I looked at the guy for the part I'm stuck in. You still gotta have your fucking skills. It's not like a puzzle game. Like a puzzle game, yeah, I'm fucking stuck on this puzzle. You can look at a guy, you're done with the puzzle. But when it's a game that requires skill, that can show you what to do. That can give you an option. But if you
gotta
can't input the controls,
you gotta do it.
or you didn't even build your character right, you're fucked. But that's my number 10.
I played some of Lords of the Fallen. It was pretty good. It's not like my thing is I'm always comparing it to Dark Souls, and nothing to me beats Dark Souls as far as like that formula goes. And like I don't like it's more direct storytelling. The story's not interesting at all. And you can't like customize your character too much. Like you have like a warrior and a mage, and you have like the rogue, but they all the character looks the same. So I prefer customization in Souls as well. But that's my thoughts.
That's cool.
Cool.
But I'll go with my number 10, then we'll go with them.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
Fortnite is my number 10. I Battle Royale specifically, because there was like Fortnite did like a kind of like a, what's it called?
You mean the biggest game in the world
Biggest
is your number 10?
Yes.
Is it the biggest game?
Wow, what a
I'm
contrarian.
about to say it's the biggest game.
What a
Like,
contrarian. Huh.
well, how is that a contrarian opinion? It's popular. It's the biggest game in the world.
Yeah, you don't want to go with what's popular, huh? It's like when Stone Cold was really over, and my cousin was like, Stone Cold, he sucks. What? What?
That would be Bob. Bob would do that.
No. Let me tell you.
100% do that.
He'd be the
Let me tell you-
contrarian.
Everybody's on Stone Cold.
Watch-
Bob would be like,
watch
"Oh,
his-
he like
watch
that
his game-
motherfucker,
watch his
man.
game
He
before
ain't even
night
that
number
good.
one."
To be fair,
He ain't even that good.
I was never a huge Stone Cold fan. He was never my number one. But I wasn't a Stone Cold hater. Like when he was beating Vince McMahon's ass, that was
You weren't against
high,
it,
no,
right?
no, that was high fucking entertainment.
Yeah.
When you're in fucking 6th grade.
It is.
But
It really is.
I like the whole Stone Cold and Booker T like grocery store fight. That was just clean up on our kick ass.
Rumora said Fortnite doesn't make her list, but her mom's giving her top 10. So yeah, definitely give us your mom's top 10 too, because we'll go through those as we go through it once we
But
get theirs.
Fortnite I love because it's become the ultimate like crossover game where you have like DC and Marvel in the same game.
So much right.
You have Star Wars, you have like John Wick,
Jesus.
and
Damn, everybody, everything.
though they do like they've kind of changed the game in a lot of ways because they introduced the battle pass, which everybody's copying now, where you can like you pay $10 and then you play through like the challenges and stuff to upgrade your battle pass, and you unlock like skins and all that kind of stuff. But you don't have to pay anything in order to play the game itself. Like the skins don't help you. It's all cosmetic. And I spent a lot of money on it.
Wow.
So I do like they do like in-game events as well, like where you can like you'll see like a rocket go off and it'll change the map in some way and that kind of thing. Those events are like their live events where you beat you and all the other players that are in a game will see like this thing happening at the same time. Then you can like continue fighting and whatnot. That's really cool.
My only experience with Fortnite is the action figures. Like the action figures. They're pretty cool. They're got decent good articulation, really. And like you said, it's just skins, so it's not like characters. So it's not like there's no background.
Right.
So it's just fucking cool. Like you can just do what you want with this action figure. It can be anything you want it to be.
Is there a Fortnite dance?
There's a lot. Well, they take
I
dances
watched
and do emotes and stuff
45 minutes of this one emote. It was like an onion head or mushroom head, kind of. It was some kind of pumpkin head. He looked like an onion or whatever, but he had like a. No, it was like a whitish kind of onion look, but he had like a thing around his head, like maybe it was a bag of like miso beans or something. I don't know, but it was like an Asian one. I forget what they're called, something brothers or whatever. And there was a few different ones, and I'm not going to tell you why I looked it up, but I looked it up to find this particular song and dance I saw on Instagram, and someone posted it on Instagram, and I was intrigued.
You are the worst.
And then I started watching this guy because you can go through all the different fucking dances,
real quick before we go on. Why did you look it up?
No,
because it's
come
dumb.
on!
No,
You can't mention it.
It's not vulgar. It's nothing.
I'm not gonna mention why I looked it up. We all know why he looked it up.
But the
I don't know. I don't know if you do know. I might be thinking something different.
You're
scaring Rick.
You the benefit of the doubt.
I don't want to go down this path.
It's nothing. It's nothing vulgar. It's nothing sexual. It's nothing. It was Keo, the singer of Dirt Grey. He apparently, I guess he plays Fortnite. I don't know, but he posted on his story this little thing, fucking dancing to this song. And I watched it like 20 times because I was like, what is this?
That's fascinating.
I knew it was Fortnite, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to go look this up.
You want to see what it was.
And I looked it up, and I found a whole video with this guy and all the different dances and stands and all the different shit that he does. And I was like, I'm just going to try to find one. I watched all 45 minutes of it. And I'm like, fuck.
That's hilarious.
It's a lot of chafing.
Like, I just wanted to find it. And, I mean, I found it, obviously, because that was one of the songs.
We go to the people's top 10 in the chat.
Rick, have you played games at a tournament level? Shy wants to know.
No, never been.
No tournament level?
I mean, shit, you might as well. Fuck.
I'm really not that good at video games. I'm not, like...
You just like them.
I
do
love
them for
video
fun.
games,
Yeah.
but I'm not, like, especially the ones that people compete at and stuff like that, like, that requires, like, thousands of hours just playing the same game over and over again.
Yeah, man, but you get on the team, though, you ain't got to worry about it. You just live in the house with other niggas on the team. And everything you pay for. And
just
shit.
let them carry your weight.
Well, no, you probably had to carry his weight, but you can stop working.
And Kaz said, I can't get into Fortnite. Nothing bad about it, just not my style. I like cool shit.
I've never played
Fortnite is like the most. Of course, there's people that are like. Fortnite
is it basic though?
popular.
Is it like very basic?
No, I mean it's like.
I've seen.
I remember like we talked about it before, and people said it was
building
complicated.
shit, and I'm like, well, these motherfuckers
Like,
go
the
way too fast for me.
The building is what really sets it apart from other battle royales. Like, it's the same thing as PUBG, where you have like 100 people on the same map, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the building, like, the original idea was like you place your own cover and that kind of thing, you just peek out. But then like people would take off with it where they can build so quickly. Like they're called build battles, where like you and another person is like building like rapidly and trying to get higher and higher and stuff like that, and like trying to get like.
But you're trying to sabotage each other while you're doing it.
Something like that. You're trying to get like a peek at them so you can shoot them and that kind of thing.
Yeah, that just doesn't sound fucking fun to me. Like, it's just, let's just meet in the field and try to shoot each other.
Meet in the field and try to.
The fuck?
That's pretty reasonable, I think.
That's more what PUBG just is more like that. Let's shoot.
I was trying to move the subscribe thing, but then I moved the whole thing, but I put it back down.
So what's Amora got a top 10?
Her mom has a top 10, and she has a top 10.
What's that number 10?
So her mom's number 10 is Bloodborne. And now I'm going to go... Let me go back up to Amora's.
Monica.
Let me go back up to Amora's. I might have to save these and put them on
Are they both in the chat or just Amora?
Just Amora. But she said her number 10 is GOW.
Okay.
God of War.
Oh, is that God of War? Okay, yeah.
I haven't played the one she's talking about, but hell yeah, I love the series in general.
God of War and Bloodborne both on my list, and I think Bloodborne probably on his list as well. Good, excellent.
I love how both of you like just totally agreed and just
Like,
applauded.
that's good shit, man. I mean, we'll get into it. We'll discuss it.
What's your
It is a
number
book.
9?
My number 9, I'm probably gonna have to go with Destiny. Destiny's really the reason I even owned a PS4. I got into it because some of my coworkers at the time wanted to play. So I was like, okay, I went to go buy a PS4. It came with the PS4. So I played it. It wasn't a big first-person shooter, but it's actually not the only first-person shooter on my list. And it was addictive. It was really fun until they started releasing like the DLCs, and I didn't buy the DLCs, so I was at a competitive disadvantage. But if you wanted to play a game with like your friends, Destiny was the shit.
That's the way to go.
Like the story was sparse. You could play it with your friends or by yourself. It wasn't much, but you would get like your raids and you get your nightfall. That shit was difficult and fun.
I bought the Destiny bundle, the PS4 kit, because it was white, and I just thought the white PS4 looked cool. But I didn't give a fuck about Destiny, and I think I ended up giving it to one of you guys, and because I just wanted the white PS4, I thought that shit looked fucking sexy.
And Maura said
like-
that her mom is here. She's here with us. Good.
Like in spirit, she
And technically,
Mom's got that ghost he's always wanted.
I've been looking for
I
it.
like Destiny a lot as well. Destiny 2, I played kind of recently, and it's really fun as well.
And Kaz said, Amora's mom, that's what's up. Everybody's Amora's mom is over. She is over.
Nier Automata is my number 9.
What is it?
Nier
Automata?
Automata.
Automata.
And it's a game I've never played.
Automata.
It's a action RPG sort of game. It kind of combines like character action games like Devil May Cry, which is like more stylistic action and you get a lot of combos and kind of things with RPGs. I don't know if you get that.
I want to name a band. Devil May Laugh or something. You know, because like to try to find like the opposite of Cry, because I feel like Devil May Cry would be like a good band name. Because I know they had a movie called Devils Wear Prada. Devil Wears. What's that band? What's it called?
Devil Wears Prada.
The Devil
It's a
Wears
band
Prada.
and a book.
Wasn't it
And
a book?
yeah.
They made a movie out of it, didn't
They made a movie out of it, yeah.
That's probably how it got popular.
So
Right. They just they.
I
it
don't
doesn't.
wanna-
It's constant.
All right.
It's constant.
God.
It's constant.
it must suck.
It, very much.
So Automata People.
Yeah, Nier Automata is really good. Great music. The characters are good, and the story. It's interesting because it's kind of like a non-linear narrative where you have to beat one route, and it's kind of like then you play it again, but you're controlling the other character, and then you play it again, and it kind of takes place after the events of the first two, and you're playing a new character. And
Thanks for ruining the whole fucking game.
and it kind of like combines like it did like it'll even change genres sometimes where you play mostly a action RPG, but then it'll become like a shooter, kind of like a top down like kind of like space shooter or something like that, because during some of the missions it's really good.
Well, before we leave Nier Automata, I have a quarter for the first of you three that can spell Automata.
ONOMATOPIEA.
Riz, do it again.
ONOMATOIPIEA. I
Nope,
fucked the
you were
end
so
up.
close.
I fucked the end up. Damn it.
Let's try it, Jimmy. You got
SHOVE. That quarter up your ass. That was too much spelling.
I feel like he got stuck on shut. Like,
SHOUVEE.
Shelf.
You shelved that fucking quarter up your.
you gonna give it a go, Rick?
ONN mono ONNOMON mono PIA APIEA.
You were wrong. You've been wrong since that second head.
Yeah.
All y'all niggas owe me $100.
I don't think that's how it works. I wish that's how bets work.
Oh, and Maura looked it up. Well, Maura had to look it up. She typed it in.
That's like a fucking 600
Well,
to
anybody
1
can use
odds or
spell
whatever.
check.
Well, I had to look it up. I can't say I
Yeah.
didn't spell it.
What's
I just
number
figured it'd
9
be a
for
cool little thing.
Mora and her
Mora, I see that I messed up because she said that I put it number. She put them first or last, so that was her first, and that was her mom's first. So I'm gonna go back, and then her number 10 was Doom.
Okay.
That's her mom's, and then her Mora's number 10 was RE7.
Oh.
Resident Evil 7, is that what that is? See, I'm learning. And then Amora's number 9 is RDR2.
Hang on.
Red Dead Redemption.
Damn it,
Oh, I
Rick.
forgot about that game.
Red Dead Redemption.
Now,
See?
I did play Red Dead Redemption because
should've-
I used to like running around on the
I gotta
horses
double
and
check
shit
my
and
list.
Like,
fucking
I've only
up
played the
people.
first one.
Yeah, I've only played the first one too, but I used to. That was fun.
Onomatopoeia.
So-
It's like Grand Theft Auto, but like in the Western days.
Amora's
Yeah.
laughing at us for trying to. For not pronouncing onomatopoeia correctly.
So, you pronounce it.
So Red Dead Redemption, I forgot. Red Dead Redemption 2 is actually I forgot about the game.
It's not like you
somehow.
said Red Dead Redemption.
And
Shit.
Red Dead
That's the porn is based off of it.
I'm gonna make an adjustment real quick.
Nah, bro,
Fortnite-
live your life, bro.
Rick likes that
Live
game.
with your choices.
Red Dead Redemption is actually
It's like Grand Theft Auto, but like Western shit. You know?
Like the first one, I mean, obviously we're talking about the second one. We don't have an experience with it. But the first one, I was so addicted to hunting shit, like, hunting squirrels. And
I remember you
rabbits.
telling me about that.
Like I couldn't finish the game for a while because all I could do was
Yeah, I was
I
never
remember
worried
all
about
that
that
shit.
shit. Yeah.
shoot a fucking badger. Oh, let me go skin that bitch. Like I was just addicted because that was your form of currency unless you did like missions and shit.
Right.
So
But if you saw it out there, you're like, I can make a little bit of money off this squirrel.
like it literally, you just be running on your horse and something will show up on your map. And you're like, oh, man, that's a fucking rabbit. Or, you know, it was so distracting. I got over it eventually, but I wasted a lot of time.
I used to just shoot people.
See, I was never like into shooting people.
Could you just
I
walk
wanted
around
to
and shoot
be-
people kind of like GTA?
Yeah,
but like,
that's what I'm
yeah,
saying. It's like
yeah.
Grand Theft Auto, but
It's
like,
made by the same people. as GTA.
well, yeah, I would just go around. I'd walk in a saloon or something, or I'll just go up to somebody who's riding their horse, and I'll just fucking start
So
blasting them.
Fortnite. So I've made an adjustment. Fortnite is now number 11 on my list.
Red Dead Redemption's number 10.
No.
Oh,
It's actually
damn.
it's actually way higher.
Damn!
On my list.
How'd you forget it?
Nier is number 10 now, and yeah.
Thought we're gonna say more games, and Rick's gonna be like, "God damn it, how the hell did I miss that one
So is
too?"
it time
Hang
for
on, I need to
number
update my whole
8?
list.
That might happen.
It's not for number 8.
Yeah, go with number 8.
Yeah, and Mora said, I love hunting. And Kaz said, you got to get them perfect pelts.
Yes.
You guys are nerds.
I
Hunting
wanna
in your
hear-
games.
I want to hear her say though, no, I mean like real hunting. Like I hunt.
Oh, she's like, no,
I'm
no,
like,
I'm
damn,
actually.
Laura, don't you live in Chicago?
I'm
Guys
looking at
didn't even have
them. That's
woods.
the hunting capital.
They even have woods.
They got the concrete jungle and they be lighting it up.
Kaz, I want you to add your top 10 or start adding some games.
All right, so this one's gonna be tough, and I'm probably gonna get some heat from the people that are actively participating in this. So everybody but Ron and Jimmy. But my number 8, I'm gonna go ahead and say is Bloodborne. Yeah, it's a good game. It's a Souls-like again, but it's not your traditional.
When you say it's a Souls-like game, it's like, what type of Souls?
Well, there's a game called Demon's Souls, which was the start of it all. And it's just basically, it's super difficult, but only, it gives you a chance to learn. It's not like
I'm
difficult.
also in the work chair.
It's not difficult for the sense of being difficult. It's, you gotta learn. You gotta learn your enemy's patterns. You gotta learn when you should attack, how you should attack. Bloodborne's even worse. Like, you have things where you can isolate enemies. That way, like, a group of 7 mofos don't come at you because you'll die. But it's also not set in that medieval setting where you have a shield and sword and magic. It's in the Victorian era, so you're using a gun. But that's like your defense. It's not meant to, like, it's not Metal Gear Solid or Resident Evil. It's not meant to be your primary offensive weapon. You have a melee weapon that can transform, and that's your primary weapon. But it's different from Dark Souls.
That was some high IQ shit.
But what I have no clue what the fuck's going on.
He said that was some IQ shit. That was just funny. We were just laughing about that.
Because he fixed the screen. I was trying to not talk over you. I was trying to get him to fix
I
it.
thought,
was like,
I thought you were talking about Bob.
I'm like, that had nothing to do. But
Stop. Jimmy just said shit, and it's so out of context. But I knew that you were like, "What the fuck?" I just let it go.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to knock it off the road.
But yeah, Bloodborne's my number 8. It's a good game. It's probably better than a lot of games on my list, but it doesn't speak to me the same way as the other games. So that's why it's as high up.
But Bloodborne's like a pretty good favorite, though, right?
Yeah, I mean,
those are the ones where you have like the 32-foot long swords and shit. And they're like, right? Like they got those big, giant fucking, and you just have to.
You can change your certain weapon size, but that's a big fucking weapon.
Come on, but you know what I'm talking about. Like Final Fantasy had that shit too, just a really big weapons.
But yeah, but that it's different. Like in Bloodborne, when you change your weapon style, it provides you with a different way of attacking, if that makes sense. Like you think, there's one weapon that's a sword, but it can turn into a whip. And obviously that's going to give you more range. Not the most powerful weapon in the game, clearly. But shit like that.
It's actually a cane. It's not really a sword.
Yeah, my bad. It's been a while.
The character stabs it to the ground and it'll like harden, and it's like you're going to attack people like a sword. And you can like,
do a lot of cool shit.
Let's put it this way: if the game's on my list, that's probably the game I've played less recently.
Like the higher on the list, like or lower on the list.
No, it's just like that was one of coming from like liking the From Software games like the Demon Souls and the Dark Souls. When Bloodborne was announced, I had to get it. You know, like I definitely wanted to fucking play it, but it's been a while since I've played it, so that's why I was saying like if I don't remember that particular detail, is what I'm saying. Like I will say, the main game's fun. There's these optional chalice dungeons, which are fucking tough. And Bloodborne was the first time From Software really updated their multiplayer. Because before you could play with your friends, but you had to be within a certain level, and it was kind of luck almost. If you could play with your friends, it's not like, oh, let's play NBA 2K. We're playing against each other. We know we're playing. But so with Bloodborne, it was like, okay, here's the code. And me and Rick will play that shit. We do the challenge dungeons. And he had already beaten the game, or at very least gotten through the challenge dungeons. So I'm following him. I'm following his lead. And we get to this one fucking boss with this giant flaming dog.
What?
And it was
now when you say flaming, like literally on fire, or was
it was
he?
Hey! It was, hey, what are you doing in my dungeon? Like that's not the right dungeon. Come get this juice.
Or maybe it was
Bob.
It was
Bob.
It was right
He
kind
started
of,
it.
It was the right kind of dungeon.
This is Spitting Games Radio. There's no venom here.
Oh, my bad. But and this dog was fucking Rick up, and it was so.
It was fucking Rick up.
Cause I was letting Rick take the point. Don't get me wrong. I was letting Rick lead the charge, and I'm hanging out in the back. And when I would see Rick get murked, I'd be like, "Oh, time to quit." And it got to the point where Rick was like, "Yo, I can't do this shit." So I stopped playing.
Rick, you were done with it?
I had already beaten the boss, but it's like
It was a tough
it's
fucking
like
boss.
It's a tough
Right.
boss. It's one of the toughest
But
bosses
I
in the
can't
game.
remember if it was one day Rick just died and I was like, well, I'm going to keep trying, or if I played it a day without him. But I eventually got it, and it was like, once you got that pattern, it was kind of like when I was talking about when you play Crash Bandicoot, it's the same where you're running towards the screen.
Yeah.
It was like, I want to play this fucking boss again.
Right.
And luckily you did have, if you had PlayStation Plus, you can do like your save, you can reload your save. So I did that shit. I mean, it took me a little bit further back than I expected, but I got to fight that boss again. And it was a fun fucking boss. I can't remember.
I don't want to like get on a point that's like too deep into something, but like, how did they configure that? How do they program that? Like the hardest boss, like.
I'm not even saying it's the hardest boss.
Does he do the same thing all the time? Is it like
No,
pre-programmed,
that's
or
the
is it
thing.
like
Once you realize this
like
move, just like
intelligent?
everything else in the game, once you realize what it's capable of doing, like how far this attack can hit, or the after effects of this attack, that's the point of the game. Like you're not supposed to run into the game swinging your sword, just trying to get as many hits in before they can get their hits in. Because especially if it's the boss, it's more likely gonna kill you before you can kill it. That using that technique.
Right.
So you gotta like, if it's got something with a sword, Bloodborne had a lot of enemies that were like you, meaning they were just a dude with a sword. They might have been bigger, shit like that. Obviously, they got more health, but you can see what they're doing, and that's how you overcome it. Like you see how far it's attacking, like when he swings a sword, or how fast he is, shit like that. So it's no different from this dog. It's just a fucking dog, and like I don't remember its attacks now.
I'm picturing like just a regular sized dog.
It's like a little
coming at you, like Caesar's coming after you. He's like ear whipping.
This is a big ass Atreyu type dog. But which as a kid I thought Atreyu was a dog and not a fucking dragon because clearly it has a fucking dog's face. But
I thought it was a band.
Well, named after it.
Is that what their name is?
Yeah. They didn't come up with this shit on their own.
They didn't create the word, Jimmy.
But so yeah, it was
fucking stupid.
It was just fun. And there's even harder bosses. Like the next boss that I fought on that game I was stuck on that boss for years. Like I literally would not play the game for years because I knew this is what was next, and like I couldn't fucking beat it. And when I finally got it, it's one of those feelings. It's like when you finally get it. It's probably any game, but it's probably more so with like the Souls games. You're just like, yeah, suck my dick, man. You fucking suck. Even though I murdered you a billion fucking times, when you finally get it, you're like, you a bitch. You a bitch. You ain't shit. Fuck you. Like, so yeah, that's my number 8, Bloodborne.
I love Bloodborne. Bloodborne is a great game. It's also on my list. I'll just say when it is later, but I'll give some thoughts on it. It's like, I like Bloodborne a bit more than he does. It's actually really high on my list, and I like the Victorian area, like the difference between that and like Dark Souls. And in terms of gameplay, like Dark Souls is you have your shield up the whole time. I mean, like you can like enemies can swing at you, you just hold it and it blocks most of the damage or all the damage. But in Bloodborne, like you don't have a shield. You have to like time your like that. You throw out the gun, you have to use the gun at a specific time in order to kind of dodge mitigate some of the damage or to stop the attack, and you get an opportunity to counterattack whatever attacks you. And that kind of like it makes you more involved in the combat, that kind of thing. Also, like if you did take damage, you have an opportunity to like attack your enemy and get some of your health back. Like so, it kind of like whereas that wasn't in Dark Souls, so it kind of like wants players to be more aggressive towards your enemies. Whereas
trying to motivate you to right.
Whereas Dark Souls is more like you're more on defense, and Dark Souls just kind of looking for an opening. Whereas in Bloodborne, I think it's more like you're actually going at the enemy and going back and forth, that kind of thing. But Sekiro is actually more like Bloodborne than it is Dark Souls, where it's like you're kind of timing your dodges and that kind of thing.
Real quick before you go into, I don't know if Sekiro was your next name, but another thing with Bloodborne, Bloodborne, when he's saying you're more on offense, like if somebody hits you, if you hit them back, you can get some of your life back. So it is it's much more aggressive.
You're motivated to come back at them because you might be able to heal up.
You have healing items, but there's a finite amount of them. Even after you die and reset, like these are finite items, you have to go buy more.
Right. Yeah, that's another
you
difference
can only carry
Dark Souls.
Amount.
That's another difference between Dark Souls and Bloodborne. Bloodborne kind of like has only so many healing items versus like you don't really replenish them after you die. You have to go get more. Whereas in Dark Souls is more if you do die, you get your healing back. But Last of Us Part 2 is my number 9, but I'll go do my number 9 and I won't go too far into Last of Us Part 2. I just think it's great. I like it a lot more than the original. I wasn't even that big of a fan of the original. I think the second one is way better, especially because the gameplay is actually fun. The original didn't have that great of a
shots fired.
There's a lot of ways to like attack the enemies and that kind of thing. So. And then my number 8 now is God of War, the 2016 one. I've talked about God of War before quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I love the relationship, the way they update Kratos to make him more like he's not as angry as he used to be, but he's still got that fire in him.
Mm-hmm.
And like he has to take care of his son, so he has like a motivation in the world at this point. We don't.
He had a daughter.
He had a daughter before the games actually started. in
Woo!
the original
Murk that
games.
bitch.
I was going to go into that. In the original, so you find out that like he was a slave to the god Ares, because he wanted Ares to help him like destroy his enemies. Like it was Sparta versus something. I don't know who they were fighting.
I think it was Viking
Maybe or
or
something.
barbarian.
But they needed assistance, and Ares was like, if you give me your soul or something like that, well, I'll help you. And he did that, and he would then after that he would like kind of like an assassin for Ares. Him and the army would go and kill Ares' enemies, that kind of thing. But like Ares wanted to get rid of Kratos' humanity or something like that. I don't know what the motivation there was, but or just to make him so he's more enslaved to Ares, I guess. So he tricked Kratos into killing his wife and his daughter. That's why he becomes super angry and wants to kill the gods after that. That kind of motivates the God of War as a series. And 1 through 3, the original was about that. It was him destroying like Ares in the first one and Zeus and later. And then the new God of War takes place like we don't know how far after that, but he has a kid now. He was married. His wife died. That kind of thing. He's a new kid.
Too?
No.
Because clearly he has a history of spousal abuse.
And this is Amara's favorite game. This is Amara's
fault.
number 1 game.
It wasn't his
God of War.
fault.
Clearly has a history of domestic fucking
But
violence.
It sounds like it.
The original God of War series took place in Greek mythology, and now it's Norse mythology. You have Odin and Thor, and the main enemy in this. What's his name?
What?
In the new God of War.
Oh, I don't know.
I can't remember what his name is.
Raiden.
No, it's Thor's brother, but it's not Loki. It's
like another one. Frank, or was that the
It
mother?
starts with a B.
So Thor's brother?
Yeah. Odin's son.
Boulder?
Balder, that's who it was. Balder was the main enemy. You don't even see like Thor or Odin in the game, like but you hear about their stories and that kind of thing, and the way they're impacting the land and all that. And like I love God of War. The combat they updated it to where it's
Balder.
Like, it's over.
Or Boar.
Yeah, because Boar should be Odin's brother or father.
Odin is the son of Thesla and Boar.
Yeah.
So Boar is the father of
I was
Odin.
thinking Boar.
Right. And Balder,
Yeah.
is the son of chief god Odin. So Balder,
Yeah.
Balder, Badler, I don't know.
But yeah, the gameplay is great, and it kind of like has lots of throwbacks and stuff like that. But the new like Leviathan axe, like people really loved like the Blades of Chaos and the originals, but they weren't really in the new one up to a point. Kind of, I don't want to get too much into that. But they added the Leviathan axe, which you can throw and then call back, and that's fucking awesome. But it's just really God of War is great.
I mean, I do want to play it because, like I said, I've spent a lot of time on God of War 1 through 3. I didn't play God of War on PS2. I waited until they got remastered on PS3, and I played the first 5. And then I even played Ascension, but I didn't get far into Ascension. I was kind of done at that point. God of War 2 and 3, because I never beat 1. But like the story, like God of War 2, when it ends, it gets it immediately to God of War 3. And clearly it looks 10 times fucking better. But God of War 3, that was a game.
I just thought he looked cool, and it was always easy for me to like fight with him because like he swings the shit real quickly, and it's like you just go in there and just fucking fuck people up, and like he's like his moves are real quick, and he fucking spins that shit around with the chain and all this crazy shit. Like the battles were always fun. Like, but I don't know very much about it other than that. I mean,
well, when it came to
I
the
didn't
reason
play it
why I
very
like to
much.
criticize Devil May Cry, because I never got as deep into Devil May Cry. It was always much more difficult. Whereas God of War, especially 3, once you start unlocking like his weapons and his abilities, which you get by killing gods or maybe fulfilling a certain task, you basically have to kill people in God of War to get shit. Whether it's a god or just some person that's trapped. But once you start getting all this different shit and you can start doing combos, it's just like the smoothest shit ever. It's just it's just good shit.
That's good shit.
And even though like the original God of War was like, you know, the camera was pulled back and you can rotate and that kind of thing. The camera in the new one is over the shoulder, so you're like following Kratos. But they kind of still still able to translate the feel of that combat to the new one, so it's like very combo based and that kind of thing.
I think the original kind of stuff.
That's really cool. I don't remember everyone's stuff, but I remember it's pulled back.
So I remember like if you were fighting in one screen.
I need to see what Amora's number 8 is.
Fourth wall, man.
I'm gonna try to find.
Oh shit, man! Rick's on 2 screens.
Actually, he's got it up there. So remember, she does it backwards. So
this one, and then
could have been great if it wasn't for GTA. Is that even 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was only 6.
You can't see me.
How do you do this? There we go. Okay,
But that's not even 10. It's
Yeah.
only like 6.
That's fine. So Amora's mom. I don't know what is the order. I don't know what the order is.
So she started from number 1 to last. So
Right, so the last one's the next one. So GTA would be a
Oh, so you deleted the last one?
Yeah,
Okay.
I deleted those. Yeah, I
Oh,
deleted
I
them.
was like, they only
No,
have
I was
6.
deleting the. Yeah, I was deleting. I'm deleting as we would go.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
So number
That would clear that
Amora's
up.
mom number 8 is Fall Guys. Fall Guys is a fairly new game. I played some of it. It's very fun. It's kind of a silly like Mario Party kind of thing, but it's like also a battle royale where like you're playing. You get to be the last one standing. People will fall off and that kind of thing. And Amora's is GTA 5, I suppose. And GTA 5 came out on PS3 first. That's why I didn't really include it in mine, but it's very good. It came out in 2013.
Like,
That's one of my favorite games.
Like I don't know all the shit that goes into it now. Like I've never done a heist. I never did all the shit you see in the commercials now, but the game used to be fucking fun. Like give the homies. That was another game that Rick and Larry were like, you should play GTA 5. You should play GTA 5. And the chick I was talking to, she bought it for me, so I wasn't gonna be like, whoa, I can't play it now. And that was good shit. That was my first time getting a little headset and like talking shit to random strangers. Like I get
Talking
the
shit to
appeal
random
of it, bro.
strangers,
Like,
yeah.
I could see you just
like
having-
I only did it if
having
people
a
were being
blast.
assholes. I didn't just randomly start fucking with people. But like sometimes people would just have music playing. I'd be like, yo, I want to hear that shit. just being an asshole to people
I
online.
bet those people have heard a certain word way
They
more
say it.
than they would
They
have
say it.
ever heard in their
Little
lives.
12-year-old Tyler
What,
called me
mangoes?
a nigger all the time. We're not sugarcoating it. If Tyler, who's 12 and clearly not colored, can say it, I can say it right now.
I know a guy that's very colored. named
Well, Tyler wasn't. Judging by
The
his,
creator?
judging by
GTA
his,
Online was really fun, but you didn't play the story.
yeah,
of it.
I only played the story.
The story in
enough to
GTA,
unlock GTA
5
Online.
was really good as well. And I love the heist missions and that kind of thing. It's great. I love GTA 5. What's your number 8? No, number 7.
I'm gonna say my number 7. It's gonna be a game called Brothers: The Tale of Two Sons. It's a smaller game. It's a download only title. It was a fucking emotional fucking roller coaster in that one. I don't want to say roller coaster.
Was
but
it like a good story?
yes, because it was a very the way you played it. And this is probably I believe this is a PS3 game first, but fuck it, we already here. Right?
Brothers, the
We're doing
tale
it live.
of two sons.
So basically,
Brothers, the
you
tale
gotta
of two
get
wrestlers.
medicine for your dad.
Pretty much.
You gotta get medicine for your dad. And you control both brothers with the same controller at the same time. So your left analog stick controls one brother, your right analog stick controls the other.
Does it make them fight each other?
No. They're fucking brothers. Brothers don't fight. Brothers don't ever fight!
Can you make them do other stuff?
Like what? Oh, that also begins with a F? No. That's the X videos version.
Ridiculous.
Like so like it's a puzzle game. So basically you have to master controlling both characters at once. It's such an unnatural thing. Once you get it, it's good, and it's just a heartbreaking fucking game. Like I don't think the three of you get as emotional as I do with certain shit, but if this didn't move you, you're a piece of shit, in my opinion. Like, I don't want to spoil it, but because it's a short game, it's like an hour, maybe 2 hours. It's not a long game, but
It's pretty easy.
it was legit, man. It was a legit fucking game.
When did it come out?
I'm not sure, honestly.
Like early 2000s, mid 2000s.
No,
Like
no,
was
like,
it
I wanna say
new?
like
Was it newer?
2013 or so?
It's past 2013. We're going from 2013 on.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna ask, like,
I didn't really
if
play
you're worried
it,
about
Brothers. I
spoiling.
saw some of it. It's like very narrative focused and that kind of thing. Never got around to it.
Are you guys worried about spoilers and stuff like that, or you
No,
just don't
because I
want
don't play that many games. So chances are,
well, so what happened on the game then? Why is it so heartbreaking?
I don't want to be inconsiderate to others. But basically, you playing the game as these two
I
brothers.
think you're good.
And the main enemy at one point is this gigantic fucking spider. So Jimmy probably would have been like, you know what? My dad doesn't need this medicine. Turn off.
Yeah.
Like, but towards the end, the older brother gets murked by the fucking spider, and it's heartbreaking. It's like fuck. And then the younger brother gets the medicine to his father, and it's just fucking sad, Jimmy.
I believe it.
I'm okay with some spoilers. I just don't want to get because we're like going over all kinds of different games. So I don't want to spoil everything.
And I think the spider was initially going to kill a younger brother, and the other brother fucking basically sacrificed himself. Man.
What if I just
That's the
stood
truest
there the whole
love.
time and just didn't do anything? Like, what if, because you said one side controls
No, I
one
think
more.
at that point it's the story.
So you have to do
Yeah,
shit
yeah,
to
yeah.
move on.
The Witcher 3 is my number 7. And The Witcher 3, I didn't really like that when I first played it. I played it when it came out the same year as Bloodborne, 2015, I think. And I played Bloodborne first, beforehand, and then The Witcher 3 came out, and The Witcher still doesn't control very well. It's not like a smooth controlling game. It's like it's kind of weird. The combat's not like my favorite. The reason it is it's my number 7. More number 7, right?
Yeah.
The reason it's my number 7 is because I played it a few last year, I think. It was like the beginning of last year I played it. And then the narrative in that game and like the way they do it is like it's an open world RPG. So you're playing as Geralt, who is like, if you see the new TV series, you're playing as that character. He's got like the gray hair and whatnot. And he's older in the game. I'm not sure exactly when I haven't seen much of the series yet. But it's like you're open world, so you go out and you do your quest for people, but like it's not like most games that are open world RPGs and have like you go out and do these quests for people, like they're very generic based quests, right? But they don't really have too much story or nothing too in depth.
Oh, I need 6 tulip plants.
Something like that, but there's nothing really to their narrative or anything like that. But in The Witcher, like almost every side quest you do, like has like a narrative to it, like that is as interesting in a lot of ways as the main story, because you're discovering more about the world and like the things that are in it. Like there's all kinds of monsters and whatnot, and they usually the monsters in the world. A lot of them are based on like curses, like someone is cursed. So like, and you're trying to, and part of it is, can I lift this curse from this person to free them from this, or do I have to kill them? And like, so Geralt kind of figures some of that out, and it's like,
can you just kill them all you want?
You can, but like the Witcher, like there's a lot of different ways to solve all like different problems in that game. Like you can kill someone, or you can like I said, lift a curse or do something else. Like and then you'll complete one path in one story mission, and then like you can make a choice that will later affect something else in the game. And as far as like story, something won't become accessible, or something will become accessible depending on what choices you make.
And Connor's right. I said, long story short, it's got sword fighting, magic, and boobies.
Yeah, there are boobs in it.
He said, amazing game. I got the Witcher Plat, baby.
The Witcher, I would never go for the Plat.
What is the Witcher Plat? Oh, does that mean Plat? Oh, that's another.
I would never go for a Plat because the platinum, like you have to get 100%. Like that means you have to go through every little every look at creative. You have to do every quest. You have to do like all the monster missions. With some of those, like they do sort of get generic in a way. But the Witcher 3 also has one of my favorite villains in the game in the Hearts of Stone DLC. The DLC is excellent in that game. It's all like they have their own stories within that world. But yeah,
I will say on all of my games so far, I don't have the platinum for anything. So far, Brothers, I do have 100%. Doesn't have the platinum.
And Amora said that she loves that show. She said the show over the game.
I've never watched the show either.
I want to get around to a show at some point.
I started it, but I
Some
haven't.
people like
I
it.
just watched like the first episode. I haven't put too much more into it.
That's the one with Superman in it, right?
Yeah.
That guy.
Henry
I
Cavill.
watched a couple episodes of that.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I thought it was cool. I mean, I couldn't. It was not hard to follow, but it was hard for me to like stay in it. But because a part of me likes those visuals, huh? It's too Latin.
I said it was too wet.
Too wet.
It was too wet to slip out. You keep slipping out.
I like that type of like imagery, like that old medieval type looking shit. But after a while,
It's hard to stay with it.
It's just like I was like,
There's
I'm
also
gonna watch it.
I've heard there's like something going on with time in that game and the show rather. Like you're seeing things like that will happen in Jack Carroll's past, and then they'll
They
say
have
it'll
too
do-
many. It
time
jumps too
jumps,
much. Yeah,
I think
was
I just
like,
came up with a brilliant revelation. And I know this isn't spitting venom radio, but I think publishers and developers and movie fucking producers and shit, they keep making all these medieval things and shit, so they don't have to cast black people.
Game of Thrones had some in them.
And he fucking tried to steal the bitch dragons.
Who didn't?
All of them were fucking thieves. I don't want to hear that shit.
What's Amora's mom's next one?
All right, Amora's mom's next one is Uncharted 4 and 5. I don't know if that's like
That's fine.
in order, but 4 and 5, maybe that's
5
6 and 7, or 5
5
and
is
6.
technically like a spin-off kind of game. It's not really a spin-off. It's like a, it's not a full like Uncharted game. I forget Lost Legacy is the name of it, and Uncharted 4 is really good.
And Kazurai said I didn't like the time jumps. I guess that's with the Witcher TV show.
yeah.
And then Amora's number 6 is 6 now.
Yeah.
F13 could have been great if it wasn't for the lawsuit.
Friday the 13th.
What
there-
lawsuit?
So Friday the 13th is similar to Dead by Daylight, which is
killed my
where
daughter. I'm gonna sue
you're
you, Friday.
one player.
Sue you, Freddy.
You killed all 13 of my daughters.
One player is controlling Jason, and then
Oh, Jason. Sorry,
and then
Jason.
they're like the other
I
players
thought
are
this
like
was Friday.
camp counselors. They have to do certain. I haven't actually played this game. I've only seen.
But you know,
bits and
right.
pieces. It's kind of the same thing as Dead by Daylight, where they're doing things that kind of.
Oh, come on.
Go ahead, Rick. I'm sorry.
Not.
I'm really not. I'm trying not to. No, okay.
But yeah, so you're doing the other players are like camp counselors, where you're trying to complete missions and escape from Jason before he kills you.
I did get that mixed up, by the way. I said Friday 13th and Freddy Krueger. I meant
Honestly,
Jason.
I
Nightmare
thought you
on
had
Elm
said
Street.
Friday.
Nightmare on Elm Street. I like that.
But yeah.
Elm Street. But what was the deal with the
So
lawsuit?
there's a lawsuit where
So Rick's number one is okay.
So there's like a I don't remember exactly what happened, but
But there was something that probably messed up the game.
The person that owned the rights to it, like they got sued, but like and then they had they had to cancel the game. because-
Jason got tired of people prostituting him for everything. He was sick of
not
it.
cancel the game, but they had to stop like making new stuff.
Did you guys ever
there
start
was
to
like a bunch
consider
of
if maybe I want to keep killing people? I want to be done with killing people for a change. Can I retaliate? Somebody was playing footsies with me.
I did that. Yeah, that was me.
You're cool.
there was a
Rick's
bunch of
like,
DLC.
"Oh,
There was a bunch of DLC they would add to the game where you control different versions of Jason or different camp counselors have been in the movies. But now they're not updating it. They would add more maps and kind of thing, but then they can't update it anymore. There's some basic lawsuit.
Is it only on console or is it on PC?
It's on PC.
Because you can update that shit yourself on PC. Probably mod the shit out that
I
game.
don't know how well that works.
You can probably put fucking a Michelob Ultra fucking in the game is killing people for the Jason. That's what I love about mods. Like I'm not a PC gamer, but the fact that you can
Jason just
mod
comes
shit-
stumbling out of the woods with a beer. He's like, yeah.
There was one mod I saw that was a Resident Evil 2 remake, and I think it was Thomas the Tank Engine. It was fucking yeah. Because you can hear like Mr. X like walking in the game, and like you can hear him like his footsteps and stuff like that when he's coming after you. Or you'll be hiding somewhere and you can hear him walking around.
He
This
just
is
comes out and
very
it's Thomas the
fucking
Tank.
creepy game. Like in turn, like the original wasn't nearly as fucking scary, and it's probably because of the graphics and me playing it so much. But when I look at footage of Resident Evil 2 fucking remake, like it looks so fucking good, and you just see this big imposing 7-foot motherfucker in a black trench coat and fucking bald head, and you're like, this is creepy. And it's so many fucking, I don't know if it's a unique meme, on your list. I've never played the fucking game. But it's like memes about it. So it's like, I don't know if people modded it or if it's just edited into like the video that they've uploaded.
Right.
But, like when he shows up, somebody had fucking DMX playing, so I was like, I'm going to give it to you.
I've seen that. I know I've seen the memes. I always see the memes, but I just don't know the context.
But also, apparently he's not dumb. So like, if you got your handguns or your shotguns, he'll fucking come at you and like you can beat him off. He's not gonna die.
Damn.
So but
that's what I'm saying, right?
But listen, he's coming. I'm gonna keep coming. But no, if you pull out your rocket launcher, bro, it's the funniest shit. Because he'll walk away. He's like, nope, I'm not dying today. And it just looks fucking hilarious. He's not saying anything, obviously.
Right, but he's out.
The fucking rocket launcher, he's
out.
Coming towards you. He's gonna fuck you up. And you pull that rocket launcher, he's just like, nope. And he just goes.
But can you still blast him?
I guess I've never played the game. I don't know.
That's hilarious, though.
But it's like you recognize, that shit gonna hurt. No,
that's gonna hurt.
Oh shit! Oh shit! What happened to all my fucking game? I was about to say all my shit disappeared. I'm gonna go ahead and knock out another PSN title. The Deadly Tower of Monsters. It was really arcadey sort of game. It's been a while since I played it. It's like all over the place. Like you're doing different shit. It keeps you entertained, like different types of shit. Honestly, I wish I had more. I just remember the experience I had. And this is the first game on my list that I do have the platinum for. I just remember like there's scenes like there's parts where like you jump off of shit and you're parachuting and nothing really makes sense. It's like you're making the game narrative wise, they're making the movie, but somehow I guess they landed in like a real alien planet or some shit. It's like it's got this really 1950s B movie,
right,
and it comes off like that. It seems like genuine, and it's just fucking fun. Like I said, you do different things. Like it emulates different games. I think at some point there's like a Space Invaders, sort of like the way the game is played. There's no one particular style.
Right.
So it was really fun.
I've never played that game.
Could you be fucking sleeping? How you be playing these fucking big tier blockbusters and shit?
Like Red Dead Redemption 2, which is now on my list as number 6.
You be playing the games that the man tells you to fucking play.
It's, Red Dead Redemption 2 is just excellent in my opinion. I know some people don't love it that much, especially.
Obviously, it wasn't so excellent that you didn't have it on your list, bro.
But I forgot about it. I don't know how it did. But the story is so good. Arthur Morgan is one of the best protagonists in a video game I've ever played. And just like you have it's open world. You have a lot of freedom to go do whatever you want. Like just riding from. Like you're on horses most of the time, and just riding from one place to another. You have so many like different encounters and things you can do on the way, and it's just.
I want there to be a mod where people can get like fucking Ferraris in there, and they're just hauling ass through the western fucking.
There probably
I think there was
fields of Ferrari.
For Red Dead Redemption 2, where it was like everything was like a fucking dead body or some shit, or horse cadaver shit. It was dumb shit, but it's entertaining because it's not how it's supposed to be played.
What's Mora's mom's number 5?
I think it was that one in that 3 and 4.
Oh yeah,
I already believed it. And then what number are we on?
5.
I'll count it down.
5.
Okay, so number 5 is Detroit Becoming Human for Amora's mom, and then MK11 is number 6 for Amora, so I messed that up. Well, I'm sorry, yep, Mortal Kombat 11, and then number 5 for her is Apex.
Apex Legends.
Yeah, let's not skip over Mortal Kombat though, because that's a game I do know something about. Like I bought that game and I played the shit out of it, and like I bought the fucking Predator pack because I wanted to play as a Predator, and like I played. I didn't necessarily go through too much of the whole, not story, but like when you have to actually play the game and go through different levels. But I would love. I either play it as Predator or Scorpion all the time. Like I would just.
Which one's Predator? Is it the one that
the Predator,
the bombs?
It's
the
the
dreads
actual
and
the dreads. With
Oh, it's an actual
alien.
Predator?
Yeah, the actual Predator.
Oh, I'm thinking. I'm sorry. I'm still on like old Mortal
Yeah,
Kombat.
so you could like buy these like packs or whatever where you can play as like Jason and.
Who was the one that would blow up the world? He'd just open up his thing and a bunch of bombs would come out, and then it would just cut scene to the world. And it's like an old. It's like Mortal Kombat 3 or 4.
Oh, they're probably like
old.
Cyrax or something like that.
That's probably it. That's probably
Like the
it.
whole world? Yeah, he was
Yeah, it was
awesome.
awesome. I loved that part of the game.
Honestly, I only played like the first Mortal Kombat, and then like Diddley Alliance. And
For the roster,
Deception.
we got just crazy huge.
That's one of the things I like. I like when a fighting game has like
Plenty of people.
as many people in the game as Slipknot has in their band. Like when there's that many people in a fighting game, I'm for it. So like it was one Mortal Kombat game. I don't think I played it. I don't remember which one it was, but they had like everybody that the series had up until that point. I love that shit. Like obviously you're not gonna sit there and play with everybody, but the options there.
Right.
See, like I love the movies too. Like even though there's only a couple like legit movies, they have a few like the Mortal Kombat Legacy stuff and all that. But
Did you like the TV show?
I liked fucking. I was as into Mortal Kombat as you could be. I just don't like. I don't retain shit very well, so like I can't sit there and, like
Go
recite
figure.
every fucking. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, it's fine. But you know, I'm a big Mortal Kombat. I love Scorpion. Like I do want to get like a tattoo of him one
Chun
day
Li's your favorite
somewhere.
character, isn't
Chung Li, is that his shoot? I don't know. Who's that? Liu Kang?
He's like, you're talking about Liu Kang, right?
it? Chun
Liu
Li
Kang
is
in the
from Street
movie.
Fighter. I'm just fucking.
Oh, I don't know. I was gonna say I don't
You
recognize. That's
basically
why I
know
asked if
Liu
that
Kang,
was his shoot
Scorpion
name because
and Predator.
I didn't know. That's why I said is that his real name because I didn't know if you were giving me like a character that played in the movie or something. That's why I was like, was that Liu Kang? Is that his name? I don't know the actor's name. He's
Chun Li's the first female fighting game character from Street Fighter.
Then Kaz said, Red Dead Redemption, phenomenal game, shit trophy list. And then he said, love me some Mortal Kombat. Terrible at it, though.
Is it cause it's a shit trophy list because it's like easy or because it's hard?
Yeah, is it
Like, I
easy?
think
Is
one
it
day
hard
we
for
do
you? Like,
need
yeah.
to, like this episode's not the focus of that, but I think one day we need to go over why something would be a good or a bad trophy list.
And it seems like there's like the different personality types. It depends
Right.
on how you work, you know.
Right.
Because those like Mortal Kombat seems completely different than like what's that one that he got platinum on that y'all were like. Yeah, that's a completely different game than like Mortal Kombat though, right? Like that's a different skill set for.
Although, like Mortal Kombat, you probably have to play so many matches online and get wins and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I will
Right,
say
right, that
like
makes
games should not have online trophies. Like you can
Yeah,
have
yeah.
online mode, it's fine. But eventually they're gonna be like, you know what? We don't want to support this shit.
That's what he said. Multiplayer trophies.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
What's your next one?
A number of.
And Amora said Bob cracks me up.
Thank you, Amor.
And she said, "You're welcome, Rick." I don't know what she said. You're welcome for. That must have been in context for something that she gave us.
My number 5 is going to be my last of my PSN type games that we talked about this last spinning game radios that I was involved with. Sound Shapes, which is an audio-driven game. Like obviously, I have eyes, and you need eyes to play the game, but you're listening to what your cues are more than anything. So like, it's rhythm. Like when you play a game, like when you complete like, there's like these little bonus levels where you have to place the notes perfectly on a little board. When you do that, it plays this little tune, and it's like that's just cool as shit.
That's
But, like
cool.
the whole time you're playing the game, like you're hitting notes. You're hitting notes, so it's just making a little rhythm, and it's an easy game. Anybody could play it.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted the platinum, you have to put a little bit more effort into it, but it's not difficult, if that makes sense. It's a really relaxed game. It's really laid back.
Soundtrack is by Beck.
Yeah.
I know that.
Everybody knows who Beck is. Older
I
lad.
don't think that everybody does.
Everybody knows who the fuck Beck is.
I know the name. What's
Jimmy, you
Odelay?
don't fucking count. That's
You don't
probably
know what a
his-
Beck is?
His first album.
What's a Beck?
I'm a loser, baby.
I know that.
So why
Yeah.
don't you
Oh, I
kill
know
me?
that.
Please kill him.
So
No, kill him.
him.
He should be dead by now.
Yeah.
He should be
Yeah,
dead by
okay.
now.
So I didn't know
It's
my
actually-
name
it's
like
good.
that.
Because that's Panama City. That's on Panama City's hot list
And
on
I'm
97X and 99 Rock.
What, that particular song?
Always.
It's
I
a
like
classic.
Soundsafe was good. I don't remember too much about it. It's like a platformer kind of game, and the music was good.
No, it's back.
Oh, she said it's Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead Redemption 2.
Back is a
What's
fucking
Detroit
game,
Becoming
too.
Human? Because that's Amora's mom's number 5.
We talked about that. I think at one point. It's David
Before?
Cage.
Is it
David
Palm
Final Dream made it. I haven't played it. So and I don't really like because we talked about Heavy Rain before, and I've kind of talked about because that's made by the same people, and I don't really like Heavy Rain all that much. So I don't really try
Jason!
Detroit.
Jason! That's what you should have said when we were talking about
Bad-
Friday the 13th.
Bad parenting.
Bloodborne is my number 5. We've talked enough about Bloodborne, but it's excellent. I love it. It's great. Moving on to number 4.
Number 4. So Amora's mom said The Walking Dead seasons.
Okay.
Is that games?
I think it's 3 seasons.
Oh, okay.
She ran out of ideas. She's just giving TV shows now.
No,
That's
it's
what
actually a legit.
Will and Grace is
I
her
don't know.
number 3.
You know, little.
I've only played the first one, but if it's just more of the same, it's
pretty
just
cool.
a story-driven game where you control the character. I mean, the first one you control a grown man and a little girl, and the second one the little girl, the main character. But yeah, it was fun. It was good shit. Like I like the Telltale games. I didn't put any on my list because they're really simple. You're playing a video game. You're playing like a fucking comic book.
Mm.
So it's like you do things to interact, but no matter what, your choice is you're getting to the end of the game.
I want to make a game where it's open world and you're a rabbit. Legit size rabbit. Not
And
like
Boy
a
Cat's
giant
coming
rabbit.
after you?
And you have to legitimately survive and like dodge your prey or dodge the predators and like don't get hit by a car, don't get hunted,
That sounds like some
don't
bullshit
get
now
eaten.
shit, bro.
You have to find food. You have to do shit. You know, I want to be like a fucking rabbit and you're fucking bouncing around playing this open world. So if you just want to sit for like 16
Until a
hours,
fucking hawk
you can do
just-
until a hawk comes and just takes you up and then you're dead. I want to make a game
Try
like that.
this. I haven't seen the Netflix version, but watch Watership Down and then tell me what you think.
Water
Ship Down.
shit down.
Like watch the original. Like I don't know what the Netflix is like,
That makes me think of.
and I know you haven't seen it because you would know what the fuck I'm
Yeah,
talking
I don't know.
about. Well, yeah, watch Watership Down, dog.
Some of what you were talking about reminds me of a game called Tokyo Jungle. It was on PS3 towards the end of it, the life cycle, and it was like
Tokyo Jungle. That sounds interesting.
it was like a post-apocalyptic game, but you only played as animals. Humans were gone, so, and you could like hunt other animals and stuff like that while you're
Like imagine doing that. Like it's just, you
Pretty
know.
fun.
And Morris said that sounds like a fun game.
It's
That's
just-
it's like grounded.
It's
Survival games do well.
like grounded. What's grounded?
Grounded is it's kind of new, where it's kind of like Honey We Chunk Ourselves or something like that, where they're small and like you fight like bugs and stuff like that that are like the size of you now. 'cause you're-
Because you're small.
Lori said, "I remember Watership Down."
Yeah,
There goes somebody
I'm gonna
catching
give
it.
you the
Somebody
watch.
catching it.
I want Jimmy to watch. The
We didn't
shit out
do
of
Amora's
Watership
number
No, I
4.
feel like I'm gonna
Wait,
get sad or something. I'm
4.
gonna
We're on
cry.
4, right?
Yeah.
Down.
Hers is COD.
I'm not gonna go vegan again.
Which is that? It's Call of Duty.
Yeah,
Am I gonna kill myself?
Which Call of Duty, Amora? Which Call of Duty,
there's a
Amora?
bunch of them.
I did fuck up my list.
He
now
wants
that
to
I think
know
about it.
specifically which Call of Duty.
I
What
fucked
did
up
you
my
mess up?
list Much along the lines that Rick did, but at this point, it's nothing I can take out to rectify it.
We'll just where would you?
What
add
did
it?
you do,
I think
buddy?
they would probably
What did you
know.
mess up, buddy?
Oh,
But
so
we'll talk about it.
we'll talk about it when we get there.
Talk about it all.
So
yeah.
it's we're now for my number 4.
Yeah,
We're down to my last 4. So
Oh,
this is
MW.
Modern Warfare.
Modern Warfare.
Modern Warfare.
So this is tough. My final 4. I'm gonna go with the Surge, which is another Souls-like, made by the same people that made.
I'm
Dark
not
Souls.
watching this. It's not going to happen. I'm not doing it.
Made by the same people that made.
Oh,
Oh,
wow. Holy
I'm not
shit,
watching
dude.
this.
Is that a zombie bunny?
He will be if he comes back to life. Look at this. This is terrible. I don't even have to watch it. This is
It's
horrible.
the
Look how
original,
sad
right?
this is.
It's the original,
Holy
right?
shit.
I guess it's a cartoon. It's not the animated one.
Take a pic. Give me a
Cartoons
picture
are
so we can
animated.
at least show people what you're looking at. So give me a picture so I can.
Gotcha. Oh no! Oh my gosh!
Oh, I don't know exactly what he's looking at,
Not
but
watching that.
Watership Down,
Jimmy
bro.
is not happy about Watership Down. We're on Watership Down right now. Let's not jump too far because I got to put
I'm
this
sorry,
picture
I
in
didn't mean to
here
jump in, but I.
because he had to look it up, and now we're waiting for.
Yeah,
this.
because I don't trust Bob when it comes to that. When he tells me to watch something and he won't tell me, and I can hear the tone of his voice, and he's like, "Oh no, you gonna do more than that." I'm like, I'm gonna watch this shit and be traumatized.
Did you send it to me?
I texted it to you.
Okay.
Right? Was that, or
man.
should I did it on Facebook?
You probably would be fucking
I'll
traumatized.
send it myself.
But it's good, though.
I don't think it's good. I don't think anybody
It's
thinks
a classic.
good.
It's a children's movie.
Yeah, a children's movie where
Is it really a
killing
children's movie?
rabbits
Yes.
and like the rabbits have to watch each other die and they're all crying. My ass hurts so much. I gotta
But
stretch my legs.
so yeah, I said the Surge, which is another Souls-like,
Here, I'll send it to you.
and it's well, maybe a little bit in the future because they have
Oh,
technology.
here it
we
goes.
don't
It was
have.
just a little bit slower.
Yeah,
We're good.
like Iron Man's fucking suits and shit.
Yeah, you're walking around in like little mech suits and fighting robots, and it's fucking fun. It's faster than Lords of the Fallen. It's better than fucking Bloodborne.
No,
It's way better than Bloodborne.
not at
honestly.
all.
It's another game on my list that I have the platinum for.
Platinum?
All the trophies. Well, not all
Damn.
the trophies because I don't have the DLC. But and it's another one. It's like when you beat it and you play that new game plus, it's like this not the same game. This game is like 6 times harder. Now. It's not twice as hard. It's 6 times fucking harder.
She said, Maura said Jimmy needs to do reaction videos because he has the best reactions. You do have the best reaction. You showed me a music video that you already saw, and your reaction was still better than mine. I was just watching it stone face. He would show me the WAP video. And I was just like, oh, there's water on the ground.
Yeah, I've never seen that music video.
It's so cliche. But if you were 15,
And you've
if
never
you were
seen
15
a vagina before, you're probably all
if you were
about
15, man, you'd be all about it.
I don't blame people for enjoying it.
No. The movie, and Lori back on Facebook said the movie scared the shit out of me when I was little.
Talking about Worship Now.
Yeah.
It's very violent.
It's violent?
It's violent as fuck.
Damn. I'm
Like,
I'm
rabbits
surprised
be
about
fucking
that.
each other up. Dogs be fucking them up.
Bunnies really do that, though. They're really assholes
Yeah,
to each
It's
other.
a fucking real movie. And there's another one made by the same people. It's about dogs. I can't think of the name of that
Milo and Otis.
one. I'm not. And,
She said Bob would probably like it.
it's also sad, but not in the same way as Worship Down. Worship Down is violent.
Yeah. Yeah. You should have. We should have just had him watch it, man.
But he described essentially what happens in this movie.
Well, don't make me break out the fucking
Dude.
bear eating the deer from
Dude.
way back.
Dude, that's so. You guys are damn.
Do a watch along at some point.
And then
With Jimmy.
you don't hear him anymore because then all you hear is. That's his bones being crunched on.
It's a bear having a good night.
That bear had a successful
That's
night.
why I
that
went
I
back
never,
to
I never,
I
played some
fucking
of
the
the-
animals don't give a shit about each other. Why should
night. They
I?
really don't, though.
I played some of the Surge, which was Bob's number 4. It's a pretty fun game. I think it's better than Lord of the Fallen for sure. It's not better than Dark Souls or Bloodborne. Which Dark Souls 3 is my number 4, and I love Dark Souls. 3.
Dark Souls.
Dark Souls 3.
Mm.
It is an excellent game. I think I like Dark Souls, the formula in Dark Souls a little bit more than Bloodborne because of they have more customization. For one, I like the lore focus in Dark Souls as far as narrative goes. Like you have to in order to kind of put together what the story is in a game, you kind of have to read like descriptions of items and that kind of thing, and it's pretty fun. Just for me, because you have to kind of like guess what's going on and kind of put things together throughout the world, and everything in Dark Souls has like a purpose, and that's kind of like as far as like even enemies like are placed in a specific location because of something that happened in the world or something like that. If you put the narrative, just like YouTube videos where people are like the popular YouTube channels just based around Dark Souls lore and stuff like that, like Vati video and stuff like that. But the game is hard. It's fun. For me, it's fun. It's like because Bob talked about this earlier, but you get like this rush after you like beat a hard boss and stuff like that. You'd be stuck on a boss for like an hour or two sometimes, and you finally beat it. There's one boss like in the DLC, Medir is the dark.
I thought you were gonna say Medea. Like, oh shit, my mom loves Medea.
There's no black people in these games.
Oh shit.
You can make black people.
It's 2020, bro.
You can make black people.
It's 2020.
Like,
We're gonna get the natives in like 50 years, but blacks at least now, right?
I make my Souls characters. I do make them like the darkest skin tone. Like they're not black,
but close.
But they're blue. Just because I just
you can.
And I like to make them. I like to make their eyes. I like to make my character look really fucking weird in the Souls game.
Just to make it
like even though they're in armor all the time, you never see it. But if I take off my helmet, you're like, damn, what's up with that motherfucker's eyes?
If anyone likes Dark Souls, even if you just like funny like YouTube channels and stuff like that, there's Prepare to Try is one. They used to work for IGN, now they're RKG. Prepare to Try was what they made while they were part of IGN, and then they have RKG where they do Retry, where it's like one person is playing these games for the first time, Dark Souls and stuff like that, and there's people that are commentating on it and stuff like that. It's really fun. It's really great.
Dark Souls 3 is on my list, so I'm going to talk to it now. It's not yet. I'm going to talk about it. And partially what you're talking about, Prepare to Try. I also like fails videos. Like when someone either invades your world or you invade theirs and you fuck up. And because you die, you die. It's that simple.
Yeah, whiskey in there?
No, it's water.
RHTP.
But sometimes it's just,
Rick has to pee.
Fucking hilarious. It's like some people, they know when they're being invaded, so they know where to wait. And they fucking snipe you with a bow and arrow, and you're like, God damn it.
Damn.
And you never stood a chance, because they were just prepared.
Right.
They were waiting for you.
Right.
But Dark Souls is, other than the original Souls game, which is Demon Souls, Dark Souls 3 is probably my favorite. Like, it's the one out of all the games on my list, it's definitely the game I played most recently.
I think at the end of Demon Souls, the last boss should be like Jesus coming down from the heavens.
See, the thing about the Souls games,
yeah,
he becomes a demon.
Yeah, it's like,
the thing about the Souls games, the last boss is usually like the worst boss. Like in terms of, it's either super easy or you're like, what am I doing? Like this is just dumb. Like specifically Demon Souls, you'll fight the last boss and you think it's your last boss. Then it's kind of tough, but then you get an actual boss that's just literally. You just walk up to it and slap it. Like you can let it hit you. It can kill you. Obviously, you let it hit.
You just walk in there. There's just like a fucking giraffe standing there. And you're like, what the fuck is this? He's eating out of a tree.
Like, there was no giraffes the whole fucking game. Like I haven't beaten Dark Souls 3. I could theoretically beat it. I'm just trying to clear up everything because if I want the platinum, I'm going to have to unfortunately play a whole nother playthrough. Because I missed one.
Because there's some. Oh, you have to play all the way through.
Fucking thing. You don't have to. It depends on what you fucked up on. But this one.
But with what you fucked up on, you gotta go back.
It's gonna be. I gotta go deeper into the game that I would like. And it is what it is. It's a very enjoyable game. But Dark Souls 3 is just. It's just fucking fun. Like there's enemies from the older games that, and you go to places that you went to in the first Dark Souls. And you're like, oh, there's places in this game. It's cool. And it's like the same sort of setup, but it's different enemies and different bosses.
Don't die, Rick.
So yeah, Dark Souls 3 is on my list. So when we get to it, I'm not going to talk too much about it. Just wait until we're here.
Yeah, get it.
Talk about it.
Go ahead with number 3.
Number 3, Amora's mom. I love how we have Amora's mom on here as well. Tomb Raider.
This for your butt.
Tomb Raider, which, oh yeah, I guess.
Is it like the newest?
It's
Tomb Raider. And then Amora's number 3 is Dead by Daylight.
Okay.
What's Dead by Daylight?
Never played. It's like Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So it's similar concept where you play as different monsters, and that is currently being updated. It's always updated with new monsters and stuff like that. You play as like Freddy.
But they did
and stuff like that. Yeah, it's really good. It's fun.
So
that's one of the games I really want us to sit down and play.
They just use people without.
Well, obviously,
they get permission and stuff like that.
So why do they get sued?
Friday the 13th got sued.
Friday the 13th got sued. It wasn't directly Friday the 13th, like the makers of Friday the game. it was like the people that had the license for it got sued by the creator or something like that. And
Because you said that game they got
because
sued
they
too.
licensed it
No,
out,
I
but
said
then the
they
creator
didn't.
didn't get
Oh, they
permission to
didn't get
license
sued.
it out.
Oh, okay.
That makes sense.
I want to know. I just want to go back real quick to the Mortal Kombat shit. So because since we're talking about frightening Jason again, or something similar, I do like how Mortal Kombat they just get these horror icons. It's like Jason, Leatherface,
it fits
Alien,
perfectly.
and it's just like it goes.
Does Leatherface have the chainsaw?
They don't just get those; they get like they've also got RoboCop, I believe. And,
Yeah,
I saw RoboCop. I saw the Joker. I love the Joker's thing.
It doesn't
Batman's
get
on
more
there, too.
horrified than RoboCop.
I mean,
What if they had?
They ain't murked him up. Like,
What if they had like
they
Godzilla?
would
Right?
have shipped down RoboCop.
What if they had like Godzilla? And you're like, oh, cool, man, you can play as Godzilla. And you think that it's going to be like a scaled down size of Godzilla, so you buy him, and it was like round one, fight. It's just a fucking foot. It's just a foot. You know what I mean? And then he ought to do anything to you. You know what I mean? Like he could like kick you, and he kicks you, that drains your life out, and it's like finish him. And then I either just step on you, or to go into this big cinematic thing where he like blows fire all over you, and then fucking eats you and throws you all over. You know what I mean? I think that'd be cool.
Mm-hmm. But the best God of War character is Kratos.
I say Godzilla.
Kratos is a middle.
You said the best God of War.
No, I mean, I meant to say the best Mortal Kombat.
Ah!
He's in Mortal Kombat 9.
Kratos is.
Yeah. He's
What's
the
your
best.
number 3?
My number 3.
Mortal Kombat 10 you were talking about. Amora says.
What do you mean?
That's Mortal Kombat 10 you were talking about.
Well, yeah, Mortal Kombat. I think they have more.
Where they had they had more.
But Mortal Kombat 11 has RoboCop.
Oh, I got you.
My number 3, I'm gonna go with The Evil Within. It was also a PS3 game. I played it on both systems at the same time.
At the same time?
Yeah, bought them at the same fucking time.
So,
Sometimes I would play it on PS3, sometimes I played it on PS4.
But I was like,
I mean, it wasn't like I could transfer. I mean, it would be a different playthrough, but I had it on both systems because it's made by the same dude that made Resident Evil.
Shinji Mikami.
The game is published by Bethesda, which I guess now if they make a future one, it's going to be on Xbox. I gotta get on that Xbox. I gotta get on that green system.
Microsoft.
But it's a very it's creepy. It's like Resident Evil. It's more updated. I mean, obviously we've gotten games like Resident Evil 7 since that have taken the cake for creepy, but The Evil Within is like this very psychological shit. And you're still fighting. I think they're humans, but you fight shit that's not human, and there's this one enemy that will follow you to the depths of hell. And she reminds me of like Samora from. Isn't Samora the one from the Ring?
No, Amora's in our chats.
The girl from the Ring.
Evil Within.
I can't remember her name.
Evil Within?
Yeah.
Amora said that, not me.
Yeah.
No, she really did say that.
So it's like this woman who's fucked up, and she follows you, and you can kill her, but she come back, and it's just like, God damn. And I remember I'm on this playthrough where I think you're not using your guns or whatever for trophies, and when you get to fight this bitch, and you're not using like your normal guns, you're at a severe disadvantage because you can use your certain shit, like you can freeze her, you get like your this rod, or you can freeze it, but it's only gonna last for so long. So in order to kill her, you gotta get her to go in this trap, and I can't do that shit on this. Like you don't have to do all this on the same playthrough. That just happens to be the fucking playthrough on it.
Right.
And it's like the only way I can kill this bitch is if I shoot her, but then I gotta start this whole playthrough over. And it's not even I think it's like midway through the game. It's not even like you're at the end of the game. It's a fucking tough game, bro. It's a real deal Holyfield.
It's a banger.
It's a fucking banger.
Are we on 2 now?
3.
Well, I'm at the.
I would
He's gotta do
say
number 3.
comparing The Evil Within, it's on the same level as like the original Resident Evils, like Resident Evil 1 and 2 in my opinion. 3, the actual 3 got a little bit cheesy, but
They get progressively more cheesy.
like they turned around. 4 isn't cheesy.
Metal Gear Solid 5 is my number 3. Great game. Excellent game. Perfect video game. Story. Metal Gear
Well,
Solid.
it's not that perfect because it's not your number 1.
Metal Gear Solid is like the older ones were more story driven. This one, like the story is not as prevalent in it. It does still deal. It's like a sequel. Well, sequel to some of them, prequel to the others. Because Metal Gear Solid is kind of out of order in terms of like you play Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2 is about Snake, and then Metal Gear Solid 3 takes place in the 70s about Big Boss. And then Metal Gear Solid 5,
Big Boss Man.
Metal Gear Solid 5 is about Big Boss as well, who is he's like the father of Solid Snake, kind of. Like they clone him to make Solid Snake.
Every time I hear Boss Man, like I only have one visual in my head, and that's when Undertaker
hung him.
When he gets hung, and you just see his face like he has that fucking.
The only thing I think about with Boss Man is the Big Show when he like takes the big. He has Big Show's like.
It was his father's funeral.
He's dragging the fucking casket. Big Show. Mine is when he fucking cooked House Knows Dog.
He's got a lot of great moments, man. God damn, Big Boss Man. I forgot how fucking amazing. R.I.P. Big Boss Man. Damn. Damn, we all that's some good shit. Mine was whenever he wrestled Hulk Hogan. He did wrestle Hulk Hogan, but it wasn't as good as fucking cooking House Knows Dog.
The thing is, we mentioned, well, that was at the end of a match. But we mentioned shit that just wasn't even in the ring. It was just
weird big nets, yeah.
Like, here's your dog.
Every time I hear his name, I get that visual where he's like...
A Big Show on the casket and them dragging.
Yeah, I forgot about that until just now. I forgot that happened.
It's fucking so funny.
Bruce Pritchard's story about that is amazing. Because they definitely told them that they weren't going to do anything that would be disrespectful. They were in a real cemetery. I have a 7-foot monster on top of a casket.
It wasn't real, was it? Because it was like Big Show's father was still alive, right?
It was, yeah, but it was a real cemetery, and they got permission. But then they promised that they were going to be good.
Big Show was fucking on top of the casket. He cried like, "Stop!"
I also like how they made Big Boss Man the fucking face in the feud with Nails. Even though Nails' whole gimmick was Big Boss Man was abusing him in more ways than one.
Right. As a prison guard.
He should be the fucking face.
Right.
But the fucking victim's the bad guy.
Yep.
Good time.
But Metal Gear Solid 5, it's changes like kind of like the gameplay loop of Metal Gear Solid is. It's open world, whereas the original games are like linear, story based and that kind of thing. The stealth gameplay, like you can approach like different missions and stuff like that in different ways. You can like infiltrate a location one way, then get out, and just the gameplay in that game is so good. I love it. So we can put it
number 2. Amora's mom has Dark Souls 3, one of the Souls games, right? Souls games, fellas.
More in Dark Souls, excellent. I love it.
And then Amora's number 2 is Uncharted 4.
Went over a little bit of Uncharted 4, but. It's really good. The ending to Uncharted 4 is really good because it's like the culmination of everything, like in all 4 games. Like you play as one character throughout those games, Nathan Drake, and at the end you see like the way the story like kind of ends. And like now Uncharted is going to be whenever it comes back, maybe one day it'll be like focusing on someone else.
Amora said, talking about the Big Boss Man stuff. We're so off topic now. That's a little off the rails.
That's a good thing about this. Like, you never know what you're going to get.
What's your number 2?
My number 2 is probably the second best first-person shooter I've played. And it's probably because you don't have to shoot anybody.
Is number 1 going to be the first best?
No. Dying Light is my number 2. Dying Light it's a game where the world has a zombie plague. Much like how we have the Corona plague, but at least the world ended for them.
At least.
And the dude gets dropped down, and he's supposed to be like a spy somewhat, but he starts fighting for the people in the country. Like, he wants them to survive. He wants the truth to be exposed, and you don't have to use a gun. Like, the game is in first person. You do get guns, and depending on your situation, you want to use guns. Like, if you're fighting humans, you want to use guns. If you're fighting zombies, you want to use something melee because the more noise you make, more fucking zombies will come.
Right.
And so I think that's one of the reasons why I like it, because you can use a sword, you can use a baseball bat, and it switches it up. Like I never was a big fan of first-person shooter. My favorite first-person shooter is Time Splitters 2, back when the GameCube PS2 days. But another thing I like about Dying Light is there's a day and night cycle. So you play the majority of the game during the day, and you do shit. You go around helping people. You collect shit. You kill zombies. You find shit. But then at night, which is if you play any game that has a night and day cycle, they're usually not 12 hours at each. So
Right.
Night is probably shorter. But so night on Dying Light, the enemies get more aggressive. Like your regular zombies get more aggressive, but you also get these things. I can't remember what the fuck they're called, but they're super fucking huge and they're fast as shit. And basically, you can kill them, but you stand no chance against them. And it's just fucking fun because at night you get more points. Like you get points for leveling up during the day, but at night there's a multiplier. So the longer you stay alive and you're doing shit, even if it's just jumping from roof to roof, you're getting points and it's multiplying. So if you can kill these things, if you can find a place where they can't get you, or they get them to fall in water and shit, you can just rack it up. And they fall. I know a few places where you can get them to fall in water because they can't swim. None of the zombies can swim. They fall in water, they're dumb. And they're dumb. So they're not like, oh, you're in water. Oh, you get out of that water. They'll fucking just keep jumping. Like,
Oh, you get out of that water.
once you get out that water, woo, I'm gonna fuck you. Nah, they'll just keep falling in the water. But Dying Light is a fun experience.
And Morris said that that's like 7 Ways to Die.
7 Ways to Die.
Is that a movie?
It's a game.
Oh, it's a game. It's similar. I guess just thinking that's similar.
I like how role plays games.
Dying Light's really fun. I played only a little bit of it, but it was fun. Like you have like parkour and stuff like that. It's like
Yeah, it's very
That's
cool.
cool. Yeah.
they're making a second one, which looks pretty good.
I will say about Dying Light, I bought the game last year. Obviously, I was late to the party, but
What the fuck were you doing buying a game?
because it was a
I'm
zombie
surprised.
game, and I wanted to shoot some zombies, and I don't know.
Who doesn't want to
And
shoot
it was on
zombies?
sale or whatever. Like I said, I was a little late to the party, but and
Fashion
Bob
Blade.
and Bob get
Fashion Blade.
and Bob
That's multiplayer, isn't it?
Yeah, but I love Big Mother.
Bob gave me shit because the very first, like you guys were talking about parkour,
I forgot about
I
that
could
shit.
not, like, when you're jumping through the building, doing all, you got to walk across the crane and do all that shit. You get to this one fucking part where you got to run and jump. And I couldn't figure out how to get my guy to run faster. I was sitting there holding shit down and pressing stuff. I was like, I can't make the motherfucker run faster. So I'm like running, and I just kept dying. I kept falling. And I'm like, bro, how the fuck am I? And that's where I can't do it. I'm like,
Right.
fuck this game, this piece. I wanted to break it. But I went on YouTube, and I was looking it up, and I noticed like nobody, and this is how I knew I was stupid. Nobody had like this is how you do this. It was just part of what they were doing. It was just part of what they were doing. They were just, boom, and they did it. And I'm like, how dumb can I be? But I noticed their guy was running faster. So that's when I kept fucking around with it, and finally I figured out how to make him run faster.
I bet
And when
you
he
was clicking the left trigger.
something like that,
L3.
and then he ran, and then I cleared it, and it was that easy, and it pissed me off so much.
And it was that easy, though.
I only played like a little bit of it, and I was like, fuck this.
That's
My
what I
number
said.
2 is Undertale. It's a RPG. It's like top down. It looks like almost like an NES RPG. The graphics aren't like super great, but it's kind of got like a artistic style to it. You don't have to kill anyone in that game. Like you fight them, but you can like kind of use different actions, like you can charm them and talk to them, that kind of thing, and then you can like give them mercy. But you can also kill everyone in that game. You can murder them all, and it's like there's different routes. There's different routes for like in the game. There's like the pacifist route, which is like where that's a true ending where you don't kill anybody, and it reveal stuff about the world. There's some mystery about like what goes on in that game, and like you get different things depending on what playthrough you're on. And then if you kill everybody, there's like a super secret boss, and he's super hard. And the music is really good. And it's really good. I love it.
What's my motherfucking name?
What is we're on number 1?
That's all that was on my mind.
Mora's mom's number 1, Bloodborne.
which we gave away at the beginning. Because
we gave that away. And then Amora's number 1 is God of War, which we talked about. Yep. We talked about God of War a lot.
So also this is my turn.
Yes, boo.
So I have number 1 initially was Dark Souls 3. But as I said, I made a mistake like Rick did. So Dark Souls 3 would really be number 2. I don't know what I would knock off of my list. But my true number 1, and we mentioned this last week, is going to be this Warmind, man. That was a survival game. And you basically, during the day, you can do all your shit. You can build your shit. You can make your food. You can, you know what I mean? You do your shit in your little bombed out house. The game takes place in Eastern Europe during a war. And you're basically just trying to survive until the end of the war. And you're not a soldier. You're just an average person that survived at this point. You can be a kid. Like you can have up to, I think, 4 characters you can control. Sometimes you start the game with all of them. Sometimes somebody will knock on your door and you'll invite them in. But during the day, you do all your shit. You take care of your base. You make sure you're secure. Like I said, you build your shit that you can make food. And at night, you can send out one of your homies to go fucking raid, and it's safer at night, but it's not safe. And like, there's, I don't want to say karma, but there's a system to it. Like you all of your characters have morale. So if like you're not getting enough food, you can die from that. You can die from being cold. You can just commit suicide. Like you don't have any control over it. Your characters just, you'll wake up the next morning and be like, Miguel just couldn't go on living and shit like that. So one of the things that stands out, like when you first start the game, there's a house you can go to, a raid, and you can get good shit, like medicine, food. But it's an elderly couple that lives there. And if you're taking from them, obviously they're not going to have shit. You can go back to the same house every night. You're not going to, the resources don't replenish. But like, you might not be able to grab everything. You have a limited space for the shit you can grab. So there might be some really, really valuable shit that you need that you'll spend that second night going back to, even though you can only basically go one place each night. And there's this character that can carry more, he's stronger, but like, the more fucked up shit you make him do, he's gonna kill himself eventually. He's just gonna be like, this is fucked up. And obviously you're doing this shit to survive.
It would be my mission at that point to make him kill himself as quickly as possible.
It's not that hard.
It's not that hard.
I mean, you gotta think, if it was us 4 and we got bombed and we were stuck in this apartment, you know what I mean? Ideally, it would be if you're in a house somewhere more isolated. But if you're stuck, like, your morale is going to fucking deplete.
It's gonna,
like,
it's going to keep going.
We literally have to do everything. We have to make a stove. You also have to find the shit to eat. Like, you make traps and catch rats and cook the rats.
Right, that's your food.
That's your fucking food. So, like, and then none of this is, like, the first day. You got to build up to this shit.
Thank God, it's on the first day. It's like, I can't handle it no more.
Right. And then, like I said, you can have characters that are kids, which complicates shit. Because a kid can't do shit. The kid can't fucking cook on the stove. He might burn himself or shit like that. You can't send him out at night.
But can you make him cook on the stove, though, and just keep burning himself?
I can't remember.
It would be my mission to just fuck that game up.
But the kid is a handicap. Like,
even better.
Like, you have.
Oh, no, you mean like he's.
Yeah.
Hang on, wait a minute. I'm confused.
The kid is a handicap.
He's a handicap. Like, he's a handicap to the game. Okay.
Right. So, like, there's a difficulty setting. There's hard, easy, whatever. And basically, hard is during the winter, like when it gets cold, it gets fucking cold. You got to focus more on making sure you don't fucking freeze. And also, the harder the game is, the longer the game is. It's like, if it's easy, people aren't going to break into your house at night typically. Like, you have people that can defend your house, but if you're sending maybe your best soldier out, you don't have your best soldier at home at night. So,
what's this game called?
This War of Mine.
And I'm gonna let it shine.
And basically, like, yeah, like, you listen to the radio every day to see how close the war is, or hear about, houses being broken into. And then one day you just hear the radio and like, the war is fucking over, and that's the fucking game, bro. Like, in the Platinum.
Is this for PS4?
Yeah. In the Platinum, you do have to do some fucked up shit. Like, somebody has to die. shit like that. I mean, it's not all the same.
I want this game now because I want to fuck it up. Like I want to just do everything.
It's fun shit. I don't have PS
The
Plus
wrong
anymore,
way.
so I can't play it. But it was a good. It's a fucking good game.
I want to play that at some point. I haven't gotten around
You
to
need
it.
to step your game up. Like Rick's gonna say fuck all these other games.
He's going to be in it.
Me and
He's
Rick
gonna be all
finally
in.
gonna agree
I'm
on
ready to get to
number
Rick's
one.
number one though. I want to hear what it's
My
number
bad,
one.
nigga. Shit.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just stating that I'm.
We've
it's
talked
That's-
about my number one before.
Super Mario 64.
No. 'cause
Dang.
it's not-
Breath of the
SmackDown
Wild.
versus Raw.
Breath of the Wild.
Dang. Oh, Breath of the Wild.
Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is my number one game of the generation. It's my number one game of all time.
Damn.
Wow.
I-
Breath of the Wild.
It is, and there's no game that I've ever played that has the sense of discovery and just exploration. There's no real, a lot of times you're going through the world, the rewards, they're not that great. You're just going there because you want to see something new and whatever. It shows you things that are really cool and just like, I love that game so much. The combat is, there's not too much story to it. There's never been too much story to Zelda.
Right.
It's like, you know, every time
It's
where
kind of
the weapon
going
is.
through, right.
Ganon is back, and you have to do something. You have to beat him. You can beat that game within like the first hour of the game because you can like collect like you get your abilities at the beginning of the game. You do like some trials to get your abilities, and it's not like most Zeldas, like previous Zeldas. Previous Zeldas, you go to a new dungeon, you get a new item through that dungeon,
Mhm.
and the dungeon is built around the item, that kind of thing. In
Right.
this, you get all your equipment right at the beginning. Not your equipment, but your abilities. And you don't have the master sword for most of the game. Like you do eventually get it, but it has a finite amount of power, so you have to get rid of it for a bit, and then recharges. You can use it again because like you can get weapons from any enemy in the game. They all have weapons, and you beat them. You take their weapon, you start using it, and it has like a certain amount of durability. So eventually it'll break. You can't use it anymore. But you have like so much inventory space that it doesn't really matter, and you eventually the reason they did that is like they want to foster like experimentation with the tools that they give you in the game.
Right.
And there's like so much you can do. You can like freeze it. You have an ability to freeze enemies, and you can grab something with like stasis, which you can. It's like metal. You can grab a metal object, pick it up, and drop it on an enemy, and that kind of thing. There's tons of experimentation in that game that you can do. There's trials. There's not really like traditional dungeons like there is in Zelda. Like there's like hundreds of little like things you'll go into where you have to solve a puzzle or something like that,
Yeah,
or you have to solve
yeah.
like a combat like trial or something like that.
Trial by combat.
And like you have to. There's weather where you have to like wear certain armor in order to like you'll be in a snowy area, so you have to wear like warm clothes, and otherwise your health will deplete. And then you have to like use certain potions or something like that in order to go to like Death Mountain where it's like a volcano, so it's really hot and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a great game. I love it.
It sounds pretty badass. And I love the Zelda game, so I would totally want to check that one out.
Breath of the Wild is my favorite game.
Yeah.
They have a second one time, Breath of the Wild 2, is coming out at some
Is it
point.
because it was like so like
It was-
well received?
Very well. There's some people that like are like it's only well received because it's a Nintendo game, which is bullshit. That's such a. And
That's
some,
a very-
there
that's
are
a
some
dead-
people who don't
yeah.
like the durability system in that game because it is like people will find like a certain weapon that you really like this weapon, but it's going to run out eventually because it
Right.
breaks,
Right.
so you have to get a new one. But for me,
Well,
it's
that's
like,
pretty normal.
Yeah,
That's like realistic shit, though.
yeah. It doesn't-
Annoying, but like
the reason
it-
people
you
don't
know.
like it is because it breaks after like you have like 30 uses for this weapon. You have to get rid of it. So and you'll realize that like you run out. It runs out pretty quickly. That does.
Amora
get
said, "I
frustrating
didn't know Zelda
sometimes.
was on PS, but it's not, right?
No,
No, it's not on.
This-
It's
that's
not on
It's
PlayStation.
on the Switch.
It's a Nintendo game,
And we're not just doing PS4. We're doing
Yeah, yeah.
every game.
Every
from-
game for-
every game available.
right? Even if you had a PC game.
They
Yeah.
just also just so happen to be
Yeah.
and play PS4.
Yeah,
Or
there you go.
PS4.
And Amora wants to know what's the topic for next week before we get out of here for Spitting Game Radio.
Unless there's like some sort of big news that happens, and then right now we're just waiting for the next console to come out. So it's really tough to say what's going to be the topic for next week.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's do another generation then.
Well, we
Or
could do
maybe an older
generations, or
generation.
we could do our top 10 games of all time. We could get that.
Then I would put in my. Can we do PC as well?
Yeah, we'll do
Sweet.
period. Top 10 games, period. So
Sweet.
You can have like honorable mentions. I want to cut mine to like 5 honorable mentions, and then
And then top 10.
Top 10. Yeah.
Cool. I'll do top 10.
But that's like if something happens within the next week, I don't want to predict anything is going to happen. But if something does, we'll talk about that too.
Cool. That sounds good, man. That sounds good. Does anybody else got anything before we wrap up?
Nope, that is everything from me.
Make sure that you guys subscribe and share.
Like, subscribe, share the video and stuff like that. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for giving us your list and that kind of thing. If you have more comments and that kind of thing, what you're listed, I'll go over there and respond to you and all that. See ya. That's it. Thank you for joining us.
Awesome. Thank you guys. We love you. Bye bye.